Now we done came from the bottom, mad that we up, but I don't hear him talking. Started with knowledge inside of my noggin. We took a dream and then we started blogging. Put my city on the map now. I'ma say how it is and I don't back down. On the road to 100K, we finna act out. We gon' show them that we not just in the background. We the main event, we the main show. We the one that people always gon' pay for. FYF, we the best, no debate though. #1 sports channel, every angle. I'ma show them all how we ride. Best sports talk show, we not like them guys who playing it safe while they feather the lines. We pushing the narrative all the time. Like who to go in the game is not MJ. Kobe Bryant top 10, not what we say. I keep Elijah one is very overrated. Keep it real if it ain't fact, we don't say it. Now it's stable, we won't be ignored. We #1, especially when coming to sports. FYF bringing the heat here, of course, where everything backed up with actual source. Everything backed up with actual source.
Nah, that's just passion. We love the game. You already know what it is. FYF. You don't got tough skin. Might as well not even come on in. Talk to 'em. FYF, blow the whistle, man, we too official. Better check the film, we not one of them. The greatest to ever ball above the rim. They wasn't with me shooting in the gym. Cut the small conversation, debate on major levels. This the playoffs, baby, bring that pressure, we never settle. Cross and spin, getting it in, I wanna win. That teamwork got us headed to the ship again. Oh, LeBron better than MJ? Cut it out. Half these fans in the stands don't know what they talking about. Half-court jumpers, crowd going wild. FYF ranked #1, you better say it loud. Intellectual talk, but fuck your feelings. Elijah one too overrated, Kobe still a realist. Top 10 all time, now how they cut the line. Magic Johnson, Draymond Green, one in the same kind. Fuck your feelings, fast break, stop and pull a J. He got how many rings, nothing else to say. With the team, live streaming, play by play. This the dream, full steam on the road to 100K. FYF, blow the whistle, man, we too official. Better check the film, we not one of them. The greatest to ever ball above the rim. They wasn't with me shooting in the gym. Cut the small conversation, debate on major levels. This the playoffs, baby, bring that pressure, we never settle. Cross and spin, getting it in, I wanna win. That teamwork got us headed to the ship again. Started small, then turned into big dogs. They treat me like the GM, I just make the call. No matter who my op is, I'ma stand tall. Then pull up to the game, fresh like I just left the mall. 100K, 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 check the score. We gon' bust the shot clock, fans running to the floor. All I hear is go this and go that. Man, your team suck, hang it up like a coat rack. I love the game, I admit it, I can't quit it. Step in front of me, man, your ankles gon' get the business. Been a legend like Moses Malone, way ahead of my time. This the greatest sports show ever, I just had to remind. FYF, FYF, blow the whistle, man, we too official. Better check the film, we not one of them. The greatest to ever ball above the rim. They wasn't with me shooting in the gym. Cut the small conversation, debate on major levels. This the playoffs, baby, bring that pressure, we never settle. Cross and spin, getting it in, I wanna win. That teamwork got us headed to the ship again.
FYF Sports, man, we back, man. Salute to everybody watching. Ricky E245, one of the biggest supporters of the channel. Rico, I see you in there. Salute. We got Antonio Barnes. He said salute to FYF and chat. Salute to all the new people. I'm seeing a ton of new names, a ton of new people. I told you guys I'm gonna be doing a lot more live streams on YouTube, right? You know, as I come back, obviously we got to go ahead. The first order of business is just to go ahead and get the Karceno and Kwame Brown thing. Go ahead and get it up out the way, right? And then we're gonna really start cooking on the basketball. But we really got it, because man, these it's a saying that we have. It's called, there's some people that are just in the way. And I've kind of sat back over the last couple of years, and I've just been kind of surveying and looking at things, and I'm just saying to myself, man, it's a lot of falsehoods getting thrown around. So, before we kick off today, and today is part 2, right? To follow up to the part 1 that I just dropped. And salute to Gilbert Arenas, because in that part 1, not only did we drop a ton of facts, but not only did we drop a ton of facts, but Gilbert Arenas was able to pull up, right? To drop even more gems, to give us more information. He even exposed some gems that we really haven't even heard him share on other platforms, man. So salute to Gil for really coming through to kind of put the nail in the coffin on a lot of those points. We got Know the Ledge. He says, Lamar, remember when Loyalty said he was a EYBL coach and does shell defense? I don't remember who Loyalty is. But I mean, look, man, we hear a lot of people say a lot of crazy things. That's the biggest thing. Part 2 of this exposure, it also comes with some additional jewels. So, Gilbert Arenas obviously saw part 1. So Gilbert Arenas saw part 1. And so now he's issued a debate challenge. Now, remember, in my last live stream, you guys, I said I was willing to do this with Karceno for life, and there was no money on the line. So now Gilbert Arenas has incentivized it even more for Karceno for life and Kwame Brown to come up, because look, y'all, over the last couple of years, they've been saying a lot of things, and it takes us back to, what I said. They have over 800 combined videos on Gilbert Arenas, over 800 combined videos of lies on Gilbert Arenas. And as we even explained in the last episode, what makes these lies even worse, especially on the side of somebody like Karceno for life, is that Karceno for life knows the truth in a lot of these situations. Think about it, you guys. If you're a Karceno for life fan, he said, Gil sent me his contract. If you had Gil's contract, then why are you running around pushing the lies that Gilbert Arenas was fired? If you have Gil's contract, why are you running around pushing the narrative that Gilbert Arenas owns 100% of nothing? His contract is very clear. It's a 50-50 partnership deal, and all of the details were laid out in black and white. But remember, the overall plan is just kind of feed a whole bunch of lies to Kwame Brown and use Kwame Brown as the microphone of stupidity, right? Karceno's really not going to stand on too much of what he says. He's going to stay in this realm of very vague generalities. He's not going to really stand on too much, but what he's going to do is he's going to feed the more serious lies to Kwame Brown. Karceno for life knows, I'm just going to pawn these lies to somebody stupid enough to say them on a microphone in front of a platform of more people. So now he's picking and choosing what pawns to use, what people to potentially use, who's stupid enough to go for these lies. And he found somebody. He found what he thinks is a big fish that's stupid enough to pawn off all these lies on the masses. And that's really the most cunning part of what Karceno for life does, which is one of the reasons why, if we do this debate, this debate challenge, right, where I'm putting my receipts and my facts up to his, because I'm calling him out on every single one of the lies. That's why we need Karceno here. Have you guys ever asked yourself, and we about to go into part 2, because we're going to pick up where we left off, because I know on the last show we had to cut, as far as exposing the facts, we had to cut that short because Gilbert Arenas pulled up and gave us some gems. But guys, have you guys ever realized that or recognized that platform? Let me pretend them for the people, and now we're doing traded in codes. Let me pretend them for the people, and now we're going to be doing basketball camps and shoe giveaways, and remember, if you're not really and truly invested in these things, it's never going to last. It's never going to stick. It's never going to come to fruition. So that's why none of this stuff came to fruition. The only thing that stuck, the only thing that lasted was the beefing. That's the only thing. He said Kwame is algorithm chasing Gil. Well, we know that. This is just all, it's really, it's just clout chasing at its finest. And what's making it even worse, and salute to people like Ricky E245 in the chat. We've been saying this long enough. One of the biggest problems that he's having is that for a long period of time, Gilbert Arenas has kind of stepped away from even going with the back and forth. He's really put himself in a situation where he was kind of looking down on these guys, saying, "You guys are still doing this beef sector stuff. I'm on ESPN with Stephen A. Smith, and you guys are still down here in this beef sector. You still down here in this beef sector, beefing with people." Oh, and then for you guys that might have caught the for anybody that caught the last live that we did, the part 1 to this live, there was a guy that came up. His name was like Uncle Something Podcast. Does anybody in the chat remember who I'm talking about? The guy that came up with the hat on. Well, he started without a hat. He turned his camera off, and I guess he had to go into the character. So he came back with his camera on with the hat on and everything. Oh, Kevlo, that's his name, Kevlo. Oh, is this guy really Kwame Brown's cousin? But because it was typed, okay, say Uncle Low, okay, Uncle Low Podcast. That's what it is right there. So the Uncle Low Podcast, and salute to everybody. Hey, y'all, we're about to get started with part 2. We got even more facts to drop. We really about to cook on this. And also for everybody watching, if you go to the channel, right, there's 2 live streams going. Obviously, you have the standard version that many of you are watching, and you also have the vertical we're watching. So again, for any clippers, anybody out there, feel free. If you need the vertical version is live right now too. It just makes for cleaner edits and cleaner clips. So feel free to clip away. And really, because again, we dropping facts today. We dropping a lot of facts today. But the problem is when we go to the Uncle Low Podcast guy, what does anybody in here know what his true agenda is? Who is this guy? Like what is it like? What is his content about? Because when he came up and completely deflected and derailed from anything in regards to the topic, which is the lies. And he even made one of the funniest statements of that live. He said that Kwame Brown was a journalist. I said, a journalist? I said, what type of journalist has documented themselves lying over 400 times on one person? What type of journalist says that, you know, they're all for trading in codes in schools for the kids, but then you don't proceed to do anything with regards to trading in codes for any kids? I said journalists have something called journalistic integrity. So journalists have to rely on facts because a journalist's entire reputation is built on facts. And if you're a journalist and you consistently get found to or proven to be a liar, you now losing your credibility, and you're going to lose that label as a journalist. Salute to 421. Salute to everybody pulling up. Salute to Antonio. Salute to the Hemi McFly. Salute to everybody pulling up. Make sure y'all see that pinned comment in the chat. If you do want to support the channel, man, support the channel. For at least for me, support it through Zelle, or you can always hit the super chat, man. Especially if you want me to address anything that you directly say. Because right now, I'm just kind of buying time because I want everybody to get in here because we really got to get to some more facts. And so today's facts, obviously, you guys saw the facts that I displayed in part 1. If you missed part 1, you guys can find it on the channel, either on FYF Sports Clips or FYF Sports, where I went through about 20 facts. Those were primarily the Karceno for life lies, the lies that he said on his platform. The ones that we say today are going to be primarily lies that were vocalized and stem from Kwame Brown and his platform. Now, there are fewer lies on the Kwame Brown platform because Kwame Brown is a bit more repetitive with his lies. They said the Patreon scam. What's the Patreon scam? Kwame got the Patreon that says he gives financial tips. Come on, y'all. Think about it, man. Come on. Financial tips? Is celebrity TMZ stuff? No. Hey, no, the ledge. The man edited his voice into a Clubhouse WAC 100 conversation to pretend that he was in a conversation with WAC 100. Are these the types of things that he's selling off on that platform? I mean, salute to Karceno for getting your bread, but Come on, man. Any content creator saw this was fraudulent from a mile away. I mean, all you have to do is go to Clubhouse and listen to the original audio. It was all over. You've edited your voice in. He's literally asking questions and no one's answering. Like, bro, like, what is this? This is a horrible edit job, my guy. All of this because you want people to believe that you know Whack 100, like you're in the know with these. Nobody knows you, man. The few picks you got with Floyd Mayweather, any fan can do that if you're in the right place at the right time. Come on, y'all, man. Like, and this is where like he's really trying to use very vague, low-level connections to celebrities to justify the fact that he's in the know with everything. There's a difference between being in the know and pretending to know. Karceno is a master of pretending to know. And he obviously can't read because even in this particular situation right here, where Gilbert Arenas gave him his contract, you still chose to push out misinformation on Gilbert Arenas, man. We about to cook on all this. I mean, I want y'all to really think about this. Can anybody please find me one time where Karceno for Life was right about Gilbert Arenas on any particular fact about Gils Arena, about Underdog, about this situation? Because remember, if I ventured off into all the other topics, like with Uncle Suge, if I ventured off into all the other topics, you know, with LeBron James, I can find an immaculate amount of lies. I mean, on the basketball side, we already exposed Karceno for Life. This man was running around saying that Draymond Green was his cousin. On the basketball side, you're saying stuff like that. Could y'all imagine, especially me being a sports content creator, if I just focused on just basketball alone, how much I could just dig up there, right? We got 800 videos and we got information. This is all just on Gilbert Arenas. You know how long I'll be at this if I went and covered all the topics? Antonio says it's very weird and obsessive. Man, it's wild, man. The stuff that we hear. He said, Craig, everybody's his cousin. Craig Hodges is his cousin. Come on, man. And I've had Craig. I could get Craig Hodges back on the show. I had Craig Hodges on FYF Sports. I can get him back on the show. We can find that out very soon. We got Dino said, "Hey, Gil, salute to everybody pulling up, y'all." All right, I think we've been at about 20 minutes. I think it's a good starting point where we're gonna kind of pick off where we left off. We're gonna pick up where we left off last week with these fact finders, now, and we're gonna add some new facts in. All right, we're gonna add a few new facts in. We're gonna pick up where we left off. This is where we left off, y'all. Arenas obtaining his brand back became proof he originally owned nothing. So why is this manipulation? This is manipulation because in Karceno for Life and Kwame Brown's weave and trail of lies, their lie has mutated into this. First, the lie was Gilbert Arenas owned nothing, that he sold everything to Underdog. He got finessed out of his channel. And as over time, we progressively saw the lie change from one thing to the next, one thing to the next. And now once they find out that Gilbert Arenas does have his name back, that he was a 50-50 owner, these are all things that they all knew. They were just stacking lies on top of lies. Now the new manipulated lie, and remember, this is one of those manipulated lies that he likes to pawn off to Kwame Brown. Because remember, Kwame Brown can't think for nothing. He can't think for himself. He pretends to think. He pretends to do all this stuff. You're just getting. You're a puppet in a game. As big as he is, as braggadocious as he is, the 7 foot, the giant, the dude that's willing to fight everybody. You are a puppet to Karceno's lies. Because the truth of the matter, y'all, is every possible outcome was framed negatively. The partnership that they both knew about, because Gilbert Arenas said this on the show, plus Karceno had the contract, they framed it as weakness. When Gilbert Arenas separated himself from Gils Arena, right, because he just wanted to allow his contract to expire, they framed it as Gil was fired. When they were informed that Gilbert Arenas was retaining the brand name, the same brand name that they said Gil lost, now they frame it as he had been tricked. No matter the outcome, the narrative was always twisted against Gilbert Arenas, y'all. Isn't that something crazy, man? This is what they choose to do, man. They frame everything like this. And remember, y'all, they've been at this for 4 years. You know how dedicated you have to be to lying and manipulating to do stuff like this, man? I mean, this takes a new level of just pure dedication and manipulation. All right, y'all, we're going to keep cooking. We're going to go to the next one, y'all. Now, Karceno for Life most recently did this on his show. And I talked a bit about this on the last show, and I'm going to elaborate it on a little bit more right now. So a judge rejected Karceno for Life's claim, and he did a recent live stream on this on his channel, and many of you guys remember this, was he said that a judge rejected Gilbert's plea deal as it was too lenient. And he said that the rejected agreement shows that Gilbert is going to be going down. That's what Karceno for Life said. But then when you read the article, right, which is something that we all remember, we know that Karceno for Life doesn't read or can't read, one of the two. We damn sure know that Kwame Brown doesn't read and more than likely can't read. And that's according to not just me, that's according to Sally Jenkins as well, somebody that Kwame Brown is very familiar with. But the truth of this matter is that the judge in this case rejected Gersham's plea deal as too lenient, the guy that they feel that was the head of this. And then Gershom withdrew his plea deal. That's why when Karceno for Life pulled the article up on his screen and started reading it, he stopped at a very specific point. And there were people in the chat that kept saying, well, keep reading the article. Let's keep reading the rest of it. It's an intentional lie. And that's why in this particular case, y'all, I say that Karceno is far more dangerous of a liar than Kwame Brown because he has the truth and manipulates it. Kwame Brown is just stupid to a certain degree and just accepts the lies as he receives them from Karceno and just does no investigation. He just knows no better. So you got a puppeteer, you got the puppet, and you got the puppeteer. And so the second truth in this particular case is the hearing concerned Gersham's proposed sentence and plea. It did not represent a plea rejection or adverse ruling against Gilbert Arenas. Context matters. Karceno, get the facts right. Quit trying to just run to the internet to create another video just to throw Gilbert Arenas' name in it. It's just starting to look like a very, very weird obsession, man. We're going to talk about all the facts, man. There's a reoccurring pattern here. There is a reoccurring pattern here. When Gilbert Arenas grew, they called it fake views. And this is just kind of a recap of the first video before we go into some of the new facts. Right? When Underdog invested more, Gilbert Arenas and Kwame Brown called the executives fools. When Arenas received a major contract, Kwame and Karceno claimed the credit. Y'all remember the first major contract he received from Underdog? The contract that Kwame and Karceno said he would never receive? Once Gil received it, then they tried to take credit for it. We're the ones that put him in the situation where he can get it. No one knows you guys. It's crazy. When Gilbert Arenas was charged, allegations were spoken as if they were convictions. We saw Kwame Brown and Karceno running around doing lives talking about, yeah, we saw him playing cards on a video. And just trying to create every false narrative possible. When Underdog changed their strategy, Gilbert was blamed for the company decision. But they just made all that up. The company decision to end this sports sector, this content sector, was because They don't have the financial infrastructure. Remember, Underdog was relying on the money from Playmaker to sustain its content creator side on the YouTube side with Gil Arena. Playmaker, without Playmaker, they have no money. Gil just cut out the middleman. Underdog, we don't need you. You get up out of here. You wanna hire all these fraudulent people that are coming in here that just super thirsty to just fire people. You have no understanding of how content works, but you're firing the right people. You're bringing in the wrong people. You're tearing down the show internally. Underdog essentially shot themselves in the foot. The one thing that Underdog forgot, you guys, was Underdog brought in a guy, you guys, that they were trying to use this new guy to make Gilbert Arenas feel as if he needed Underdog. So this guy was going to come in and make all these big boss moves, make all these moves, fire people, do this. This is just him just kind of showing his power because he's trying to throw his power around. Gil, we don't need you on the show. Gil, we're cutting your show down to a few weeks. So he's just trying to flex fake muscles because they wanted Gilbert Arenas to feel that he needed them, not the other way around. They didn't realize that the entire time Gil had already flexed and worked out a new deal with Playmaker. So as they're trying to manipulate Gilbert Arenas, he's just sitting on his hands, just watching, just saying to himself, these idiots really think they trying to pull one over. And then by May and June, they realized they played their cards wrong. They were playing spades. They playing it all wrong. They playing that hand of spades all wrong. And it wasn't until they got the information that Gil already had a deal with Playmaker, they saying, damn, we just got undercut by the very person that we were trying to finesse. That's what happened. I told y'all, Gil be thinking ahead. I told y'all a lot of the stuff that's been happening, a lot of the stuff y'all see happening on this channel, me, Suge, a lot of people behind the scenes, we knew this. Like, for example, with Skip Bayless being on the show. I knew Skip Bayless was going to be on the show. Kwame Brown and Karceno for Life were trying to sell that as Skip is coming in to take Gil's show. I was on the phone with Gil when he was going to dinner with Skip, trying to bring Skip into the fray. Skip was there because of Gil. Skip wasn't there because Underdog thought he could replace Gil. That's not what he was there for. Skip was there because Gil invited him into the show. I was on the phone with Gil. Gil was going to dinner with him, setting it all up. But see, when y'all listen to Kwame Brown and Karceno for Life and all this misinformation, this propaganda that they be selling y'all, he says they were playing spades, Gil playing with pen. Hey, look, I'm telling you, look, I don't know what happened. I don't know. Look, y'all. I'm going to tell y'all what they did, y'all, if you want to put it in spades terms. I'm going to tell y'all what they did. Gil was sandbagging. Gil looking at his hand. Gil got about 7 books in his hand. And Gil said, give me board. Gil got about 7 books in his hand. Gil said, give me board. Gil said, give me board so well that they thought that these little extra aces that they got in their hand, Rashad McCants and all that, they thought these little extra aces that they had might be a little bit more valuable. They didn't know Gil was going to just start cutting right out the gate. Gil's cutting all of it right out the gate. That's essentially what happened. He says they even talking about Gil's wife, but hey, Red Cups, they were. But think about it. They're talking about Gil and Melly, which is very odd. I want Red Cups. The next time you go to Karceno for Life's live, ask Karceno, can Karceno talk about his own wife? Because Karceno got some bigger allegations out there on top of his head. Karceno got allegations of men and things of that nature and going on. I don't know what he got going on. So he has some other allegations he needs to clear up. And then with Kwame Brown, well, we're not even going to get into that. He has some crazy allegations about, so again, we not even here for that. Because what's going to happen, y'all, Red Cups, I'm going to tell you what happens. They love the little side conversations, because the side conversations that are not directly related to the topic is their way to cry and avoid addressing the real topic, right? And so sometimes when other people get to cooking Kwame and Karceno, they'll be on the right path, but then they'll get derailed because they'll now venture into the personal, right? They'll venture into the personal, and then that always gives Kwame and Karceno an out. Oh, why you talking about, why you in another man's business? And we never talk about the real problem. So again, whatever issues that they might have there, I don't really care. I'm here to address these lies. Why have you guys been intentionally lying, propaganda, hate, pure lies over the last 4 to 5 years, over 800 plus videos on Gilbert Arenas? For what? We're going to keep cooking, y'all. We're going to take it to the next. We're going to take it to the next image. Okay, so and I have this claim number wrong, so apologies on the wrong number. The deal was closer to 25%. This was Kwame Brown and Karceno for Life's claim. They said Underdog controls everything, right? Own the whole page, and they own all the show content. That's what they were saying. They said this in May of 2026. Remember, it's starting to get real bleak for them now, because now details are starting to leak out about how much control and power and ownership Gilbert really has, and they can't refute that. But the truth is that there was no authenticated complete contract which was included in the supplied material. It said public reporting establishes a 50% sale or partnership interest. This is exactly what Gilbert Arenas told these guys 3 years prior. Underdog's retention of the network channel and Arenas' retention and or recovery of Gils Arena name. It does not publicly resolve ownership of every individual clip, episode, production file, or historical asset. The blanket everything claim therefore exceeds the public evidence. These guys love to overstep their bounds with misinformation. They want you guys to believe that they are in the know. They want you guys to believe they have insider information. They don't know anybody. They have no insider information. So in Karceno's case, he wants you guys to believe he has insider information. In Kwame Brown's case, he wants you guys to believe he could replace Gil and do the same thing. He wants to feel relevant. He's searching for that viral moment again. Why do you guys think he keeps chasing Gil headlines? Because he thinks it's the next easiest way to go viral. So he's chasing everything that Gil does. And he's saying the most controversial things to try to go viral. It's just not working. None of it's working. Let's go to the next claim. We got the claim number 32. Kwame Brown and Karceno, I'll give you guys their statements, and these statements are verbatim from their videos. It says, it looks like they took the arena from him. Another quote, Underdog pulled off the biggest finesse. Arenas lost his show. Arenas lost creative control. These are all quotes from them that we all know are false now. All of them are false. These are facts over narratives. I'm still trying to figure out, like, when can we Karceno for Life and Kwame Brown? We got Gilbert Arenas has put up $5,000 of his own money for FYF Sports versus Karceno for Life and Kwame Brown. Fact versus fact debate. Will they take the debate? We could do it here on FYF Sports. At first, I was willing to go over there and do it on Karceno or Kwame's channel. But now, once I realized the overwhelming volume of evidence that I have, this can only be done on FYF Sports. You guys are going to have to come out of your comfort zone, and you're going to have to come to FYF Sports and address all these facts, because I want to see y'all receipts versus my receipts. Not only do I have the receipts, I have people who are witnesses. I have people like Uncle Shug who was working behind the scenes. So we can really get to the facts. Will they take the bet? Will they take that bet? We got Going Ham for Show. He says, oh, okay, so it's tit for tat. Gil talked about Kwame's dead mom, which again, you're only saying that because it's an emotional plea to deflect from the facts that we're talking about right now. But I'll entertain your comment. He says, Gil talked about Kwame's dead mom before, so what the F are we talking about there? How about you go on their lives and ask? Gil is a liar. He's been proven. How's it going ham for show? You can come on the panel right now if I drop the link, and you can do it. Here's the one thing going ham for show. Now that I know I have overwhelming evidence to prove that they are liars, they can come on the FYF's platform. I don't mute. I won't overtalk. And I'm for damn sure don't need to bring up any other people to hang out on the panel just to cause confusion. It's just going to be me, FYF Sports. I'm not chasing them on their lives. Again, FYF Sports is not in the trenches of YouTube. I'm not going to the pits of YouTube, the beef sector, just to give facts. They're going to have to leave the trenches, going to have to leave the pits and come over to somewhere where FYF Sports, you're going to rely on bringing facts and bring all your facts. I'll upload them and I'll put them on the screen if you have facts to support. I don't want to hear any empathy pleas about, ooh, Gil said a joke about this. No, we're only talking strictly facts. If you get into a roasting battle with Gil, okay, anything can be said in a roasting battle. This live is not about who roasted whose mom the worst. I don't give a damn about whose mom got roasted the worst. That's just y'all. Remember what I just said, y'all. If you get personal with these guys, they're going to try to detract from the narrative, which is they've been lying about the facts of the matter about Gils Arena, about Gil's court case, about Melly, about anything or anyone associated with Gilbert Arenas. They've been lying about it. And what they want you to do, y'all, is they want you to entertain these sidebar comments. Oh, Gil said something personal about me. He ain't a man. That's not what men do. And now we spend the next hour crying about your feelings. FYF Sports, man. What does FYF Sports mean? Does anybody, can anyone help this dude understand what FYF Sports mean? It means F your feelings. We're not about to go down these emotional plea roads. If Gil said a joke about your mama, get over it. Grow up. We're not talking about right now. We're talking about the facts. What facts can you give me? And salute to Cooking with Foxy. Salute to everybody that's pulling up. Salute to everybody pulling up. We cooking today with only facts. We're going to move on to the next claim. This is one of the more egregious claims. Claim number 33, June of 2026. Now this is their new claim. Putting Kwame Brown in Gilbert Arenas' position would produce double to triple the numbers of Gils Arena. So now that they are pushing the narrative that Gilbert Arenas was fired, now they're trying to sell to their audience that they could replace Gilbert Arenas. Well, Kwame Brown, you struggle to keep your own community engaged. Your own community of 400,000 plus subscribers, you only somehow find a way to keep about 10,000 of those people engaged. You can't even keep your own community engaged. Putting you on Gils Arena to talk a bunch of nothing will do what? You're not even entertaining to your own community unless you're diving into the beef sector, beefing with low-level YouTubers, right, that nobody knows. So let's stick to the facts. Is that factual? Well, we're going to stick to the facts. There's been no comparative audience research. There's been no test episodes, right? There's been no advertiser studies or platform forecasts to support this statement. Kwame did not become the replacement host. So the claimed 2 to 3 times audience increase was never demonstrated. Underdog, instead of reaching out to Kwame Brown, if Kwame Brown was this masterful solution to keep everything going, right, amid the split with Gilbert Arenas, how come Underdog didn't reach out to Kwame Brown? If you're the answer, why didn't nobody reach out to you? Instead, Underdog chose to close the entire original content operation while Arenas took the brand to Playmaker. Can anyone tell me if if you as a business knew that you were losing your best commodity and there was another commodity out there that could help you double or triple what you've been doing, wouldn't you seek that new commodity? Especially, bringing in somebody like Kwame Brown, he's not even going to demand the salary of a Gilbert Arenas. You could literally underpay this fool and you're now getting double to triple, according to what Kwame Brown said. How come no one else sees this talent? How come no one else sees this talent? How come Underdog hasn't seen this talent? How come Bet USA hasn't seen this talent? How come Kalshi hasn't seen this talent? All of the predictive markets, all the betting companies, all the companies out there, how come no one else has seen this magical, mythical Kwame Brown talent? He said he's not articulate enough to be on Gil's level. Oh, for sure. He says, how can Kwame say that when he does not even get ads to run? Well, that's another problem. He's not ad friendly. He says, y'all, we got going ham for show. Y'all some followers. What are we following? The facts? So you mad that we following facts? Again, going ham for show. If I'm lying, come up here and tell me which one is a lie. I got a fact for you all. Y'all doing some real positive work, tearing down each other. Oh, the emotional plea. Oh, y'all being mean. It's called FYF. Fuck your feelings. F your feelings. Going ham for show. Take the crying somewhere else. You're on the wrong platform. We sticking to the facts. FYF. We're like, does this not know the show? It's called FYF Sports. FYF. Don't come here with the emotional MLK crying speech. This dude's coming up here singing Martin Luther King, can freedom ring and all this stuff, and can we all work together? It's too late for that. It's too late for that. Hold on, y'all. Maybe he doesn't know this. How come you didn't tell Kwame Brown and Karceno this 800 videos ago? Over the last 4 to 5 years combined, they've done over 800 videos on Gilbert Arenas. I'm on my second video, and you already coming over here saying, let freedom ring, let my people be go. Crying. Man, what is you crying to me for? They 800 videos deep. You ain't went over there and told them to chill with the lies? They 800 videos deep. I'm 2 videos deep, and you're already telling me to slow down. This is how I know I'm on the right road. This is how I know. This is how I know my information is factual, because now they crying for me to stop already. Already. Come on, man. Let's take it to the next claim, man. We're going to take it to the next claim, y'all. This is crazy. He says, oh, I've been saying it on that shit, but unfortunately over here, they in too deep. You can't be 800 videos in of lies and expect it to go unchecked. It's getting checked now. And they've doubled down on it, saying that they have facts. So now there's a $5,000 bet bounty on the line. Pull up for $5,000. Prove that what you've been saying over the last 4 to 5 years is factual. Make me out to be a liar. There's $5,000 on the line. Gilbert Arenas is putting up $5,000 of his own money. If you guys don't believe me, you go reach out to Gil. This has already been sanctioned by Gilbert Arenas. I would not be saying it if it wasn't sanctioned by Gilbert Arenas himself. 5 bands. Fact for fact. Mahari Nation from Sports Podcast. Mahari Nation's been here since 2020. He knows that that Kwame Brown started this thing off lying, and he's still lying now. Salute to Clip That Crow. Hey, make sure you guys clip that crow. Make sure you follow him on YouTube, and make sure you follow him on Instagram. Elite content, man. Especially if you like the game, if you like, all these clips and stuff getting put together, man. Make sure y'all follow my man's. Does elite quality content. Make sure y'all follow him. These are real content creators, man. Pulling up Mahari Nation Sports Podcast. Real content creators. Thank you, Mahari. Mahari, you've been seeing this since 2020. Since my first interaction with Gil. Some of y'all don't know, Clip that crow. Some of y'all don't know. My very first interaction with Kwame Brown about 4 years ago, I wasn't speaking on no Kwame Brown. He came into our show. We talking about basketball, and he types in the chat, how come y'all not talking about trading and coding? What? What do you mean us? What you mean we? Why do we got to talk about trading and coding? But I said, you know what? Trading and coding is right up my alley. So I'm going to pull up to your platform and I'm going to question you on what you actually know about trading and coding. Oh man, when I went to that man's platform and I questioned him on trading and codes, oh my God, the mental meltdown. The man crashed out, kicked me off the panel, got mad, made videos about me, mad as hell. Because I checked him on something he don't know nothing about. So I asked him, well, what type of code, what type of trades and codes you putting in these schools? Are you gonna get finessed and allow people to put in outdated coding programs that no one uses? And when they finish these programs, it's absolutely worthless. Like, how we gonna make sure it's getting done correctly? What we doing? What schools need it? What schools don't? Oh, I don't have none. Now you don't got no answers. So you want to talk about the stuff on face value, trick a whole bunch of people, right? So again, that was my first interaction with them. And you know what? Going ham for show, we kept it moving. We kept it basketball. We got to keep moving. But now, after 800 videos, I said it's time to address these lies. Gil got a new show. He's about to be doing big things with Playmaker, right? Everybody predicted the collapse and fall. I mean, and to be honest, Karceno and Kwame Brown are still predicting the collapse and fall. They just have to keep shifting and molding their lives. Let's get to claim number 34, y'all. And salute to everybody pulling up. Salute to everybody pulling up. He says, Underdog was bought out. Yes. And Milky Dud. Underdog was bought out. Underdog was bought out. And Milky Dud, you know what else, Milky Dud? Gil had equity. Gil had equity. So who's the winner? Who's the ultimate winner? They were. Salute to Brandon Frank. Salute to everybody pulling up, man. Make sure you got any questions you want me to stop the presses and address those questions, hit the super chat. Or if you just want to support the content, if you want to support FYF Sports, please. And I know everyone doesn't have Zelle, right? But if you could support the channel with a Zelle donation, again, all the donations everything gets reinvested into the channel. It just helps us keep pumping out these lives, up the quality of content, and just doing a lot of different things, right, to keep the quality of content and keep the content going over here on YouTube. Like I say, FYF Sports is going to be back on YouTube. We're really trying to build up this new channel right here on FYF Sports Clips, man. Salute to all the people joining the chat right now. We over 100 people watching right now between the vertical live and the regular live. We're going to keep cooking. Claim number 34, y'all. Gilbert Arenas was jettisoned, as you can see in quotes. This is their quote. And the arena got stronger and better without him. Can I ask y'all a question? Who in here, and I don't care if you're for Gil or against Gil, and I want y'all to be honest. I want y'all to be honest. The show went into the garbage can as soon as they started playing with who was on the show. The show went into the garbage can when they introduced the football show, because football and basketball on this platform do not mix well. This is how you know they got idiots. The new person that they brought in is a complete idiot. The football show should have been a channel on its own, independent. Maybe a collaborative effort so people know it still functions together. But to merge football and basketball on one channel was one of the worst moves you can make. But that still all stems from Underdog bringing in people that have no clue what they're doing. The show and this is no shade to Josiah, because I know Josiah's up there trying to be a moderator as best as he can. And, You know, even to a certain degree, Rashad McCants and Kenyon Martin and Nick Young are trying to hold the showdown without Gil. But as crazy as it sounds, it essentially was Michael Jackson and the Jackson 5. It just don't function without the main lead singer. I mean, they were literally like a 60s group. It can't function without the lead guy. And remember, Gil separated and segmented himself away. Not because he was fired, not because he don't like these other guys that he's working with. It's because Underdog is ruining what they have going on at the core. So when we get to the fact on this particular claim, public tracking showed the arena's views dropped sharply without Gilbert Arenas. That's according to vidIQ and Social Blade. The numbers fell after he left, not rose. That is a fact. That is a verifiable, provable fact. It's clip that rose. Yes, sir. Salute, man. Yeah. Anytime I chance, I definitely try to shout out content creators, especially content creators, because I know how it is to grind. Man. It's hard. Figuring out these algorithms, figuring out what works, it's hard. I mean, me even looking at it from the back end, like for the longest time, Clip, I thought that just being an NBA player like Gil, you could just step in his space and boom, you got all the views and everything you want. And I started to realize it ain't even that simple. It don't matter who you are. You got to have a whole team behind you. You got an infrastructure behind you. You got to have people willing to invest in studio. Your edits got to be on 10. I mean, Kwame Brown is an example. No investment, no nothing other than one viral moment where he played he was sympathy farming. Basically, he was sympathy farming to millions of people because Stephen A. Smith said something mean to him. So he out here, that's what we call it, y'all. I got to put that on a t-shirt, but that's going on t-shirts soon. Sympathy farming. That's what Kwame Brown's elite at. Farming for sympathy. Stephen A. Smith, man, he said some awful things to me. But remember, Clip that crow. He only went at Stephen A. Smith because Stephen A. Smith has a massive following. Kwame Brown did not attack the person that was attacking him. The person that was attacking Kwame Brown was Sally Jenkins. She's the one that was writing the articles in the Washington Post that he can't read, that he can't write, that he didn't know how to wash his clothes, that he didn't know how to iron his clothes, that he couldn't think, basically calling him a big dumb buffoon. Article after article after article. All Kwame Brown was saying was you got small hands that can't make a layup. That really ain't nothing. Sally Jenkins was talking about him. Saying he was dumb, saying he was stupid, saying he didn't know how to do nothing, said he needed grown men to live with him because he didn't know how to function as an adult. I mean, shit, if you really think about it, Kobe Bryant said the same thing that Stephen A. Smith said. As soon as they traded Kwame Brown, what did Kobe Bryant say? Well, I'm glad we got somebody here that can make a layup. Stephen A. Smith just said you was trash at basketball. As a basketball player, you got to at least be able to accept basketball criticism, good, bad, or indifferent. Sally Jenkins was attacking Kwame. Now, let me ask y'all, how many videos has Kwame Brown made on Sally Jenkins? There's no viewership in attacking Sally Jenkins. Sally Jenkins is retired, living out the rest of her life, doing whatever she's doing, unfettered by Kwame Brown. Kwame Brown knows as soon as he starts talking about Sally Jenkins, all the people in the beef sector gonna go away. They don't give a damn. So I want y'all to do y'all research on Sally Jenkins and what she was saying about Kwame Brown. And I want you to compare what Sally Jenkins was saying to Stephen A. Smith, or compare what Sally Jenkins was saying to Gilbert Arenas. And I want you to come back and tell me what was worse. Who would you have a beef? I want you to really evaluate all three, and who would you have a beef with? Sally Jenkins, Gilbert Arenas, or Stephen A. Smith? I told y'all, Sally Jenkins was going in on this dude, and it had nothing to do with dribbling a basketball. She exposed this man for being late to practice, skipping practices, every Every element, every way you can expose somebody off the basketball court, she exposed this man. In one article, she suggested that she didn't know if his IQ was above 75. It was Sally Jenkins. Remember, you guys remember how Kwame Brown tried to blame the NBA putting a halt to guys coming out of high school on Stephen A. Smith? When the NBA was having those CBA meetings about whether to allow high school players to get immediately drafted or not, who did they bring in for that moratorium speech? They brought in Sally Jenkins. They didn't bring in Stephen A. Smith. They based some of the core elements of their decision based on what Sally Jenkins had to say about Kwame Brown. Kwame Brown didn't tell you guys about none of this, did he? Did Kwame Brown tell it? Hey, where's my guy at? Hold on, where's my guy? What's his name again? For show. What's his name? Oh man, I forgot his name. I can't find his comment. I gotta find his comment. Something for show. Because his name was for show something. Oh, going ham for show. Going ham for show. Can y'all tell Kwame Brown? I think he has some bigger fish to fry with Sally Jenkins. These are the facts, y'all. But we'll see. We'll see if he does 800 videos on Sally Jenkins. That's who I would be focused on. We go to the next claim. Next claim. This is according to Kwame Brown. Gilbert Arenas, in quotes, ruined Underdog Fantasy and caused the content shutdown. So now Gilbert caused all of this. Well, in a sense, this might be the closest thing that you said that was closest to the truth. Because in a sense, Gil did cause the shutdown. He didn't necessarily cause it. He just allowed the shutdown to happen because he understood that the money that you guys need to keep this going is sitting over here with Playmaker. But he already made a deal with Playmaker a long time ago. They cut out the middleman. Why the hell do we need to give Underdog an extra $15 million? We'd rather just give all that money to you, Gil. And we can find our own prediction market company. Why we need Underdog? They probably going to try to take all the money anyway. They're going to probably say that you got to recoup overhead and all this other stuff. Get them up out of here. But in all reality, they were still wrong because that was never Karceno for Life or Kwame Brown's intent. Their intent was to lie. They just wanted to put it on Gilbert Arenas and say that he ruined Underdog Fantasy. But the unfortunate reality is that Underdog said it left all original content to focus on prediction markets and fantasy gaming. The shutdown affected other shows and staff too. No public company statement blamed Gilbert Arenas. Now, they didn't blame Gil to save face because if Underdog mentioned anything about Gil being the reason, then it would have just made them look bad. Because then they would have to answer as to, well, why did Gil choose to undercut you guys and sign with Playmaker directly, as opposed to allowing you guys to sign with Playmaker to keep all of this going? What were you guys so inept at doing? Underdog started to become inept. The people that they hired, or this one guy that they hired that had a love and a thirst for firing people. Have y'all been around a boss like that? Has anybody in here worked for a boss like that? That didn't care about building a business up, building a brand up, making everything better. This dude was just running around here with a thirst for firing people. And Gil didn't tell me this, but if I dove into this, I would probably believe he might have been the person that put Kenyon Martin up to making that mockery of himself with Uncle Suge live. Because I was told that he was sitting on this information for a week, and then all of a sudden, when the studios moved from Gilbert Arenas' house to an outside studio, then now all of a sudden he has the balls to do some silly stuff like call Uncle Suge out live on the show. One, when Uncle Suge already apologized to you in the past. One. And two, you've been sitting on this information for a week, which essentially means you had to be fake in front of Uncle Suge for an entire week before you. It sounds like somebody's in your ear telling you when to do this at the exact time. Because I think this guy that they hired, his next goal was to potentially fire Uncle Suge, somebody that they knew was close to Gil. Remember, they just trying to flex muscle. I think to fire Suge, though, they would have needed a reason. And I think that reason, the reason, what allowed them to have a reason was that situation with Kenyon Martin once they became privy to it. Now, that's just my speculation. Gil didn't tell me that. That's just my speculation from the outside looking in. We got more money. He says, get off Gil's beef. Unfortunate reality is that we got to keep cooking. More money, 718. Do y'all really think that's going to make me stop dropping these facts? Now, more money, 718. You can make me stop dropping these facts. If you send a $1,000 Zelle payment right now, I'll shut the whole live down. I'll stop. If you really want me to stop, if you really want me to get off it, send a $1,000 Zelle payment right now. I'm shutting it all down. Send 1,000. No, better yet, you actually have to send 6,000. You got to outdo what Gil put on the table. Gil put 5,000 on the table for Karceno and Kwame Brown to debate FYF Sports on the facts. Not on the emotions, not on if I talked about your mama, not on what happened in the locker room and all the no, on the facts of this particular matter. That's what we're going to be debating, the facts of this particular matter. So 6,000, outdo what Gil put on the table. Gil got 5,000 on the table. You outdo Gil, I shut this whole operation down. We won't do no more exposing of the clown crew, Karceno for life and Kwame Brown. Now, my next best guess is that Karceno and Kwame Brown won't respond to any of the facts that I've dropped. I believe their next best thing is to probably try to talk about me personally, try to make jokes, probably just like he did on his last video, and try to use homoerotic terms. But he won't address the facts. Mahari Nation Sports Podcast, we know this, man. We know these dudes, man. They don't address no facts. We're going to go to and that's why we're going to stick to the facts. We're going to go to the next one, y'all. Gils Arena had failed, had no motion. Now all of a sudden Gils Arena has failed and it has no motion, according to Kwame Brown. And Playmaker, and now this new allegation, now that they know that Playmaker has dropped a whole bunch of millions in the Gil's pocket. Now the new allegation is that Playmaker is just bailing Gil out. That's what they doing now. That's what companies do now, y'all. How come some company can't come bail me out for, even though they know it might fail, how come I can't get some company to come bail me out for 25 million, 30 million and just let it fail? Why they got to keep choosing Gil? If something going to fail, why they choosing Gil? Gil got the millions already. Why can't they just pick me and let something fail? Just give me 20 million to make something fail. I mean, shoot, clip that crow, pick him, pick anybody. But give it to Mahari Nation Sports Podcast. If y'all already got it all figured out in y'all head and y'all know something's gonna fail, why they picking Gil? Why can't they pick me or somebody? We got Going Ham for show says, hold on, you sounded emotional. I wish, man. Salute to Going Ham for show. We got Bango Wolf. He says, I realize Kwame Brown corny, but Karceno a cornball. But you got to think to yourself, Bango Wolf, who's the bigger cornball, the puppet or the puppeteer? Because Karceno is just using Kwame Brown as a little puppet, throwing him little crumbs, even though Karceno has the truth and facts with a lot of this stuff. He's just throwing the lies to Kwame Brown. He's going to let Kwame Brown feel like he's breaking news. And then he's going to join the live and attach himself to it. Be like, man, Kwame, that was a great job breaking this news. When the whole time you fed him all these crumbs of misinformation. But he tries to do it in a way where he can distance himself from it, but also still attach himself to the claim. So now, because if it came down to it, he's going to blame Kwame Brown for all of this. If it came down to one of them having to admit who lied, Karceno's going to blame Kwame for all of this. You was the one that said all this. You was the one that said this on your live. But Karceno, you's the one feeding Kwame Brown all of these breadcrumbs of lies. Salute to Will Lakers. Said, glad to see you back on live. Yes, sir. Will Lakers, yes. I'll be back doing these lives on YouTube, man. I love the YouTube community, like I say, but I'm back. We're doing them on our FYF Sports Clips channel, right? We're trying to run the numbers up on this channel. We close to 5,000 subscribers. So if you're not subscribed, if you're one of those people watching and you're not subscribed, please make sure to sub up. You know, of course, my resurgence back on YouTube, we just starting it back up with obviously this series right here where we attacking the lies. And I gotta make some of you guys some mods because we got spammers in the chat already. Salute to the spammers in the chat, but man, we got to get y'all up out of here. Mr. Jupiter says, I think Kwame is easily influenced if you show him love. Yes, he's easily influenced. If you pretend to be his friend, he's going to agree with any level of stupidity that comes out your mouth. Chris says, I can't get mad at FYF because Kwame and Karceno be talking crazy too. Here's the thing, Chris, I'm not talking crazy. I have no jokes for Karceno or Kwame, right? I don't need to talk about Kwame. Like, y'all all, like Uncle Suge and them, I got all the jokes. They got all the jokes. Everybody else got all the jokes. I got no jokes for these guys. Everything that I'm saying is facts. When I say that, Sally Jenkins said that Kwame Brown had a sub 75 IQ. It might sound funny, but it's facts. When I say that Sally Jenkins said that Kwame Brown, as an NBA player, had to have another grown man to live with him because he didn't know how to iron a suit and get his suit ready for pregame, that's not me saying it. That's Sally Jenkins saying it. When Sally Jenkins said he didn't know how to go to the laundromat to wash his own clothes, right? When Sally Jenkins dropped the story that Kwame Brown's on the dinner with some execs from an NBA team and the food was too fancy, so he went across the street to Popeyes, so they made him look dumb there. That's not me. That's Sally Jenkins making him look stupid. Salute to Max. I haven't seen you on YouTube in a minute. You haven't seen me on YouTube in a minute, but we back, man. Like I said, we're going to run through this probably, I might, depending on how these turn out, this might be a 2-part series. It might be a 5-part series. But at the end of the day, we will get this. We will force Karceno and Kwame Brown to pull up for this debate. Gilbert Arenas has $5,000 on this debate because I have all my receipts in order. Why have they spent the last 4 to 5 years dropping over 800 plus videos lying on Gilbert Arenas? And we got the documented trail to showcase it. Right? So when we talk about this statement on the screen right here, Front Office Sports reported Gils Arena was averaging 70 plus million views per year. Playmaker called it incredible property with an established community that undercuts the claim that the show had no audience value. Do y'all really think that Playmaker just cut this huge check to Gilbert Arenas without validating the viewership? Like, even when I get small deals, right, with like Manscaped, they even ask to see my analytics. They want to see my back-end analytics. And these are for like little $100 and $200 deals. I can't imagine for a $20 million deal what they gonna ask for. We got Uncle Low Podcast who is back. He says, how is Kwame Brown? Shaking my head. I don't know. You would know better. They say that you're related to him. He says they need to be, and really, this has been a long time coming, Mr. Jupiter, primarily because I said, you guys won't believe the amount of times I've sent Gil a text with a screenshot of one of their videos saying, look at this silliness. I was like, Because we know what's really happening. So whenever I see one of those video titles just as just a bold and blatant lie, I'm just sharing it with them saying, look at this. Look how stupid these dudes are. And so when I see this documented trail, I said, well, let me put together a full picture of how far back these lies go. How far back will these lies go? How far back these lies trace back to 4 years ago, over 800 videos. Nasty work, y'all. Oh, man. But yeah, we're going to keep cooking. He says they hate the success. That's all it is. And it's really not even hating the success because I think they both have different agendas. I think Karceno has an agenda, but I think Kwame Brown has an agenda of wanting to go viral again desperately by any means possible. Right? And I think Karceno just wants people to believe that he's in the know. He knows more. Right? He knows people behind the scenes. Yeah, chill with the spam. All I can do is block them when it happens. Once I block them, hopefully it goes away. But, you know, that's just part of what happens on YouTube. And it's a lot of spam accounts. We're going to go to the next one, you guys. Arenas filmed himself playing cards with the Israeli mob. Let me think about this. This is another fake claim. Misleading, unsupported. You're just saying it just to say it. Now, is Kwame Brown intelligent enough to make a claim like this on his own? No. He was fed these crumbs from Karceno for life. Emboldened to say lies on his platform. Encouraged to say lies by Karceno. But what is the truth of the matter? The truth of the matter is that the DOJ identified Gershom as a suspected organized crime figure. It did not authenticate the displayed footage as a charged game. Another lie. More lies. Again, lies. Salute to Renegade, one of the top mods in the chat, man. Hitman, I got to make you a mod as well. Hitman's one of the OGs as well. Let me make Hitman a mod, man. Because we gotta, you know, we gotta get Hitman X pulling back up. Hitman, type something in the chat so I can see. Actually, I still might see it. He said, I got to finish off that list. Yeah, I'm working on it. This is a slow burn. Hitman, I just made you a moderator, Hitman. Salute to one of the OGs, man. Hitman been cooking for a minute. Hitman, we got to get you on TikTok as well, Hitman. We got to get you over there to cook, man. Boy, your personality will work well on those lives. I'm not going to lie, Hitman. The way you talk about the game almost works perfectly because, Hitman, man, the community over there, the most delusional basketball fans ever. But, you know, we'll chop it up with you, man. Make sure y'all follow FYF Sports on TikTok as well. But we got to keep cooking on this, man. We got more facts to drop for you guys. Y'all thought it was over. We got more facts to drop. Underdog, according to Kwame Brown, this is a Kwame Brown statement, you guys. Underdog took Arenas' name and left him with nothing. We've already proven this to be false. But remember what I told y'all with Kwame Brown's lies. Because Kwame Brown doesn't really have the ability to research and get real information. His lies sound more repetitive because he has to repeat the same thing that he said before. He just tries to say it in a different way. So all of these claims that I'm giving you from Kwame Brown are literally all from separate videos. But he'll just say the same lie in a different video, but he'll title the video as if it's about something completely different. I mean, there might be some credence to what Sally Jenkins said with that sub 75 IQ. But what is the truth of the matter in this particular instance? Underdog kept the network channel. That's the truth. Arenas retained and regained the brand and signed with Playmaker. He was not left with nothing. That is not true. He actually left with a lot more than most people realize. But that's neither here nor there. That's the truth of the matter. We're going to keep cooking. Arenas permanently lost Gils Arena. Remember, do y'all see the similarities, y'all? Do you see the similarities when Kwame Brown, from video to video, he says the same lie, but just structures the sentence differently in different videos? And he'll title it differently as if it's about a different topic. Because he's taken the one lie that Karceno fed him with breadcrumbs, and he's trying to flip it 15 times as content. Arenas permanently lost Gil Arenas and had nothing left. Why would you say something like that? When 3 years prior, as we showed you in part 1 of this series, Gil had already shown and told you guys it was a 50-50 deal. But how do we know this is not true? We're going to go to the facts. Front Office Sports reported Gilbert Arenas signed with Playmaker. They know this now. Gil's Arena name went back to Arenas. They know that now. Karceno knew this, you guys, because what did Karceno brag about? Karceno bragged about having the contract. Karceno, how did you have the contract and you didn't notice? Why were you running around propagating lies? You should have known this. Karceno, you should have told us months ago that if these guys part ways, Gilbert Arenas' name is going to come back with him. The show relaunched in August with Josiah Johnson and 5 episodes a week. It's going to relaunch again. That's what's happening. And I think that relaunch is getting pushed to September, but it is going to relaunch. And I think the fear from Kwame Brown and Karceno for Life is that it's about to be bigger and better than before. That's the biggest fear. So I'm going to show you guys a simple timetable, and hopefully you guys can see this. I know if you're on the desktop, maybe you can see this, but now we have a chart from August 2023 to July 2026 of just literally documented lies. It starts in August, where Karceno will say stuff like, Karceno would say things like a low subscription and fake traffic. They said he was getting his views from Bangladesh. This was back in 2023. Then YouTube and the success of the show proved that it was all real. In September 2023, Karceno credits himself and Kwame for Gilbert Arenas even getting the underdog deal, the millions and the massive deal. They say they're the reason why he had all that success and notoriety is because he was beefing with them. The unfortunate reality is that most people, 99% of the people that watch Gil's Arena don't know who Kwame Brown is, and they don't know who Karceno for Life is. Absolute nobodies in this sphere. No attention, attribution, or underdog evidence supports this claim. We go to July 2024. Karceno says Arenas didn't apologize, and he's talking about the South Sudan video. What's special about the South Sudan video? I was the one that even edited that video. Gil was on vacation with Melly, enjoying, about to go to an Olympics. I'm just doing edits, trying to keep the channel going. I dropped the South Sudan edit because I thought it was funny. The next thing you know, everybody on social media is up in arms trying to cancel Gil. I asked Gil, I might even still have the text. I asked Gil, should we apologize, man? Damn. Because, I'm not trying to get the man canceled for a video I put out. Gil said, hell no. I'm going to make another video. Gil funny as hell, y'all. I did the South Sudan video. I edited the video. Everybody in an uproar. I said, Gil, man, do I put out do I do a community post? Do I apologize? What? Like, hell no. Let's do another one. That's how y'all know Gil is kind of a diabolical genius, man. That's kind of diabolical. That's crazy work. He says, Kwame gonna get caught driving drunk and streaming soon. I don't wish that on nobody, so I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't wish that on Kwame Brown. So I wouldn't take it that far. And I can't even put that allegation on Kwame Brown that he drives drunk. It's probably something that he does. He says, boy, stop lying like lying. No, like go by using KB name. Huh? Okay, so can somebody help me understand the Tisha Turner comment? Boy, stop lying. No, like go by using KB name. Can somebody help me decipher that? I don't understand hood rat. Can somebody help me? Anybody that understands hood rat, can somebody break that down for me? Anybody in the chat that understands hood rat, can y'all help me out? Boy, stop lying. No, like go by using KB name. Can somebody help me understand that? Somebody interpret that for me. It says Tisha is a man pretending to be a Tisha. I don't know what that means, Sam. That sounds crazy though. We got Bahari Nation Sports Podcast says that's the only thing I disagree with was the Sudan video. Now, Mahari, you did message me about that, right? And for the longest time, Mahari, none of you guys knew that it wasn't Gil that put that video out. It was me. I edited that video. I put that video out. So I'm seeing all the backlash, like some Mahari. I'm seeing and hearing the backlash from people like you, right? Because at the time when I saw the video, I thought it was going to be funny, right? The USA about to go to the Olympics, right? Everybody's cheering for the USA team, Brian, Steph. They want to see them win. Okay, And so I'm thinking people are going to rally behind it. It was a bit insensitive to a certain degree. And I do appreciate the fact that Gil did reach out and let people like Luol Deng know that it wasn't nothing personal. It's just him being a fan of Team USA, and it's just all basketball. But we'll go to the next one. So that was in July 2024. We'll go to January 2025. Kwame Brown and Karceno said failure and fake growth narratives, right? They were saying it was fake views. They said that Gil was buying his views from Bangladesh. But on the flip side, Underdog reported more than 500 million views on YouTube and then extended everybody's contracts in 2025. Because, if it's all fake views, that it also means there's no money. Where the money coming from? If they paying them, if they extended everybody's contract, if they doing all this, where the money coming from? He says, LOL. He's saying, you guys are using KB for views. For what? That's all. And Mr. Jupiter, I'm fine with them saying that. But Mr. Jupiter, that's just an emotional plea to get me to stop talking about it. That's just them saying, oh, you're using. Okay, so is Kwame Brown using LeBron James for views when he's crying about Bronny James? Is Kwame Brown and Karceno using Gilbert Arenas for views when they've done over 800 videos on Gilbert Arenas alone? I told y'all, don't come over here singing the Martin Luther King, I have a dream, let freedom ring speech. It's too late. You had an opportunity to sing the I have a dream, let freedom ring to them. You could have done this to them when they were 400 videos in. We're going to go to December 2025. Karceno and Kwame Brown blame Gilbert Arenas for the playback shutdown. That's just them throwing claims out there. But playback founders cite rights issues, blackout issues, and scale problems as to why they had to shut playback down. And in all reality, the only thing that was keeping playback afloat before it shut down was Legend of Winning Low and Gilbert Arenas. But outside of that, I knew it was a failing platform because they were demanding too much from the people coming over there. We got May of 2026. Karceno says Gilbert Arenas no longer owns his name. Karceno, why would you say that in May of 2026 when you had the contract? Because reports just came out to confirm that Gilbert Arenas, the Gils Arena name, will return to Gilbert Arenas once his contract expired. July 2026, Gersham's plea deal rejection tied to rhetorically to Gilbert Arenas. Why did they try? Why are they so desperate to tie it to Gilbert Arenas? Another example of this is with Karceno for Life. When Marcellus Wiley got into his domestic issue, what did Karceno for Life do? Instead of just addressing Marcellus Wiley, the domestic issue, he did a video titled Gilbert Arenas' Friend Marcellus Wiley Arrested. What does that have to do with Gilbert Arenas? What is this thirst and obsession with attaching Gil's name to anything and anyone? But in this particular sense, the court reporting identifies Gershom as the affected defendant. This is not a RICO case where everybody's put into one little bundle. He said Gilbert Arenas' friend. Is that what you call it? Yeah. Come on, y'all. Y'all got to stop with these narratives, man. We got July 2026. The underdog exit framed as a total loss and a career collapse. Remember, once they thought the show was getting canceled, they thought it was a career collapse. The problem is they didn't know that Gil had a deal in place with Playmaker already. I told you guys, most of you guys should have already known this. Gil was too happy. When Gil's contract expired, and you got Melly making videos talking about Gil's a free agent. Everybody, like, they were making too much light of it. There's something going on behind the scenes. But then when I saw that Gilbert Arenas had did the collaboration with BET on his channel, I said, nah, there's something else at play. I said, somebody is still connected. I said, Gil has something in play. So, but you guys, I'm going to cut this fact finding. We're going to cut it short right here because I think this is the perfect opportunity to cut it short right here. And I'm going to do a poll. I'm going to do a community poll if we should push for a part 3. And I believe that we should keep this series going until we get Karceno for Life or Kwame Brown, specifically both of them, to come pull up so they can address these facts. Because if my facts are wrong, if I'm lying, if they were right all this time, I want them to be able to show and prove all their facts. I want them to come show and prove all those facts. And we're going to go fact for fact. Gilbert Arenas has put up $1,000 or $5,000 on a fact-finding debate between FYF Sports and Karceno for Life and Kwame Brown. Karceno, don't be running around lying, talking about you don't need the 5,000. We all know you need the 5,000. Same with Kwame Brown. Don't let y'all egos get in the way of collecting this 5,000. So, what's his name says they already presented the original contract. Let me ask you a question. If they presented the original contract, which Gil has already said that Karceno had portions of the original contract, then why did Karceno have to lie so much about information that was clearly written in the contract? I want you to ask yourself that. Why would he say that Gilbert Arenas was fired when in the contract it clearly said that this is when the contract ends? Gil was never fired. He just let his contract end and didn't renegotiate. Right? Why would they make all of these claims that are clearly documented? Why would Karceno come out and say Gil lost his name, owns 100% of nothing, when it clearly says in the contract, right? When it clearly says in the contract that upon termination or upon the ending of Gil's contract, the Gils Arena name returns to him. This is all documented in the contract. How come he's putting out information that contradicts what's in the contract? So one or two things can be true here. Either Karceno for Life has a 3rd grade education and can't read, or 2, he read the contract, knew exactly what was in it, and chose to intentionally lie and feed breadcrumbs of lies to Kwame Brown so that he could propagate the lies. One of those two is true. Because between them both, there's 800 videos of a whole bunch of lies that don't align with what was in the contract. How do you have the contract and you're still wrong about everything? How do you have the contract, but you're still wrong about everything? It's either intentional or you're stupid. It's either intentional or you're 3rd grade reading level. Which one? You choose which one. Pick one. It's one of those two. So when you talk to Karceno, talk to him about a 3rd grade reading level, right? Or ask him why he intentionally lied to Kwame Brown and fed him a whole bunch of lies. And we got Will Lakers in here. Will Lakers dropped the first gift of the day. My apologies, Will Lakers, that I missed your gift when it came through. I don't know how I missed it. But salute to Will Lakers, man, with 20 jewels. This new gifting system over here on YouTube, I'm not for sure what it represents or what it is, but whatever it is, man, is you know, it's in my star comments. So salute, man. Much appreciated, man. We got the Muffin Man said, "What's good?" Yes, sir. Deal with it. Smash that like button, y'all. Like, Shay, this is part 2. This is part 2 of us addressing Kwame Brown and Karceno for life. This is not us attacking them personally. I have nothing against none of these. I'm not about to crack jokes. I'm not going to do like some people. I'm not going to talk about Karceno, his weight, and nothing like that, and do nothing crazy like that. Because if we make it personal, if I make it personal, that's going to be their out to avoid talking about the facts. And Kwame Brown has become a master of doing that. In almost every conversation where he's on the panel with Gilbert Arenas, it no longer becomes about the facts. It now becomes, well, Gil, you said this might have hurt my feelings a long time ago. So we can now never talk about the facts of the matter. So as we do this, because now Gilbert Arenas has $5,000 on the line here. Salute to the Muffin Man for the gifts, 10 jewels. He says hi and salute to him. Deal with it, 28. Drops a silver star or 2 jewels. Salute, man. And like I say, I don't 100% know what the gifts are, but they look like they worth something. So I'm going to shout y'all out, man. Salute to y'all for supporting FYF Sports, man. That's much appreciated right there. Big time. He says I support Gil. After Kwamites. Man, I can't. Is Kwamites a real thing still? Do they still call them Kwamites? They called them Kwamites like 4 years ago. They still call them Kwamites? I didn't even know that term stuck. Oh, facts, renegade. Hey, and look, the people that's spamming, look, I'm gonna make a couple more people mods, people that's been in here supporting. That way, some of y'all, when y'all see the spammers, y'all can also get to those spammers as well. So I'm gonna add a couple of y'all as moderators. Now, the only thing that I ask is if you are a moderator, please don't block anyone. I mean, when I give people mod, it's just kind of a status symbol to like, man, I appreciate the support, so other people know that you support. And then if you see people spamming, obviously, but I really give people free reign to kind of say what they want in the chat, jokes, all that. I really don't get too caught up into that. It don't bother me, because the more they type in the chat, this is called more engagement. So it helps more people come to the live. So whether it's good or bad, the only people we don't need are the fake spammers, spamming Dreamers Pro. That's all we don't need. Hold on, I'm gonna make one more person a mod that support it. Hold on one second. Okay, deal with it, 28. I'm gonna go ahead and make you a mod as well. And again, appreciate you for the support, because I just saw you send that gift as well. But it definitely helps for the spammers. But again, this is not like a Kwame Brown channel or anything like that. I'm not about blocking or doing none of that, man. I'm not about to block. I'm not about to do none of that. Just let them say what they need to say. It is what it is. I don't really care about all that. My biggest thing is the more you type in the chat, the more engagement we get, the better. But hey, you guys, this is part 2. We dropped some more facts. I'm going to give 48 hours. And if we don't have a time and date and clip that crow, we'll make sure we log this in. I'm going to give 48 hours. If we don't have a time and date for Karceno for life and Kwame Brown, let me drop that link. But in 48 hours, if we don't have a time and date for Karceno for life and Kwame Brown to do the fact versus fact debate with FYF Sports, we just going to go ahead and drop part 3. I keep telling y'all, man. Look, Mahari Nation Sports Podcast knows, man. Come on, man. We like, they shouldn't play this game with me. Hold on. Hit the link. All right, here's the link, y'all. If a couple of y'all want to pull up, we'll bring a few people up. And salute to everybody that's pulling up, man. Like I say, follow the content creators, Mahari Nation Sports Podcast. Clip That Crow NCL, salute. Don't just follow them over here on YouTube. Follow on Instagram as well. Elite content right there. Make sure y'all following and supporting everybody here. But I'm dropping that link so we can get a few comments up here. But again, 48 hours, because I mean, Gil put $5,000 out on the table. I'm not gonna lie, I can use that extra 5,000. Gil got 5,000 on the table, right? I'm gonna get that 5,000 one way or the other. I gotta get that 5,000. Whether I gotta drop 5 videos and they just no show, or whether they actually pull up and they go receipt for receipt with FYF Sports. But Gil put 5,000 out there, man. I gotta go get the 5,000, man. I gotta get it, man. We got Mahari Nation Sports Podcast in the studio, man. Hold on, let me get this off the screen here. Hold on, let me get this off the screen. Let's get Mahari Nation Sports Podcast back.
What's happening, man?
Mahari, what's good?
Man, back on YouTube, I see.
Hold on, Mahari, I can't hear you.
Oh, can you hear me loud and clear?
Hold on, let me see.
Can you hear me?
I hear you now. What's good, man?
All right, that's good. I was just saying that it's good to see you back on YouTube, away from the TikTok thing.
Hey, man, look, man, I got to start doing things. I got to start moving a little different, man. They made a lot of changes over here with the monetization and things like that.
Yep.
So hopefully we can get this channel thriving and growing, because, you know, my main channel, FYF Sports, is not monetized. So, again, I'm really working on this one, get it monetized. It is monetized. It's doing well. Just had a really good month this past month. I'm really pushing to have an even better month because, you know, just like I said before, even with Gil, they're making a lot of changes there. I'm going to be making changes of my own. As y'all can see, Uncle Suge is going through a transition of his own. He's going to be making a few changes. So, again, everybody's in a transition period where we all just trying to, you know, level up as content creators.
That's good. That's good.
But, you know, it is what it is. But, you know, this biggest thing right here is when I started to do my research on this, and I really started to see that these two guys, Karceno and Kwame Brown, are just creating intentional videos with intentional lies. These are not accidental lies. Like, there's been times where I got misinformation about a trade or something, and now I'm wrong about something, or something on Basketball Reference has the wrong stat or data, and we might be wrong about some things, but what they're doing is intentional. They have the truth, and they're just lying about Gilbert Arenas on purpose. For what? For more beef sector fake content? That's not getting you nowhere. Come on, Miss Craig.
Let me say this though too, real quick. Remember, me and LVZ, we were talking about people. We were telling people before you started investigating about Kwame Brown. We've been telling people about him for years. Remember, specifically when he basically made those lies about Breonna Taylor too. You remember that?
Mm-hmm.
So this man has no integrity. The man literally lies like how we breathe oxygen all the time. The man consistently lies. He holds on to fake beats because he thinks in his mind is going to garner attention for himself. But only one time that he's ever done any attention like that, and that was with the fake Stephen A. Smith stuff. And listen, you know me, I have never supported Stephen A. Smith at all. You know that. But for the rare occasion, Stephen A. Smith was being too light on him. But I even read the article with Sally Jenkins, and I'm just looking at him like, bro, why you don't even attack this reporter that was going in on you? Instead, you attack Stephen A. Smith because he's more presentable and he's everywhere around the mainstream. That's why he attacks him the way that he does. When you understand Kwame Brown, you understand that this is a guy that he's just doing things to try to create clout for himself. But the problem is, just like what Gilbert said a couple of days ago, he's too lazy. He doesn't understand about creating content. He doesn't know how to be original and authentic. He's just going off of something that's going to create attention for himself. That's all there is to it. And when it comes to, I call him Karceno for a reason. I don't call him Karceno. I call him Karceno because the man lies all the damn time. I'm still surprised that people still listen to that guy when the man constantly lies about everything. I mean, the Karceno doesn't know what the truth is. He's allergic to the truth. If he has to tell the truth, he would develop a allergic reaction to it. I'm serious.
Oh, look at him. That's a good stat right here from Muffin Man. Then I'm going to go to 2020 Twin. It says that's an average of 2.5 posts a day, every day for 365 days. It says at this point, it's not a critique. It's a full-time job. That's exactly what it's become.
That is a great point,
man. That is
Bro,
crazy.
that's a comment of the day right there. It's almost similar to, you remember when Ticket TV was doing like the 100 reasons why LeBron's not the GOAT? It became such an obsession. Like, dude, you're so focused on that so much that you're alienating your base, you're alienating your audience, and now people don't even listen to you anymore. I mean, honestly, bro, I haven't even listened to a Ticket TV video in the last 5 to 6 years. Because I don't care anymore. I just like, now he's more focused on celebrity gossip and lies all the time, and he don't even read the information neither. It's ridiculous.
Hold on, let me go to Twin. Let me go to Twin. Let him chime in. I haven't seen him in the chat, but hopefully we can get some thoughts out of him. And Twin, I had to mute your mic because you had some background noise. That's the only reason why I muted you. So I don't want you to think I was just cutting your mic or anything.
No, my bad.
Go ahead.
Go ahead. How my FYF? Good.
Oh no, it's perfect now. It was perfect now. It was just a echo that I was hearing, but now you good now. It sounds perfect.
What's going on, Lamont, man? Definitely welcome back to YouTube. Glad you're back on here. Definitely enjoy your content. Basically, what it all boils down to with Kwame, basically when it comes down to LeBron James, especially Gilbert Arenas. The thing with his problem with Gilbert Arenas, when Kwame Brown first came to Washington, they gave him the keys to the city. And the fact that somebody like Gilbert Arenas, who was a second-round draft pick, came in and took the keys from Kwame and ran him up out of Washington. So he's been bitter. He's been bitter ever since that. You know, especially for LeBron James, but even with LeBron James slander. They both were high school draft picks, straight out of high school, #1 picks. And basically, he's supposed to have the life LeBron has. So if you basically, when it all boils down to it, that's where the hate and the vitriol is coming from. Like if he was smart, he'd be trying to link up with like a Gil, because I'm pretty sure if them two had a show, it would be very interesting if them two was able to get together. Because think about it. You wallow in the mud with guys like Karceno. These are bottom feeders compared to you. You know what I'm saying? Like these dudes are just looking for clout off your name. And like you were saying earlier in the show, Lamont, like he's stupid enough to get information from them. Like you mean to tell me this dude, you sat at the feet of two of the greatest players this league has ever seen, and Kobe and Jordan. I'd be interested. I'm pretty sure you know, Lamar, like you're a basketball show. We'd be interested in them stories that he would like to tell. But yet he's wild. He's in the dirty section of YouTube. This is why his channel can't go nowhere, because it's full of beef. And you, like I said, you with these bottom feeders. He should never associate himself with that. But I'll land on that, man.
No, you're 100% right with that. But I even like when Gil, that's why I'm glad Gil pulled up on that last show. Gil made a good point because I asked him about that. And I was like, was there ever a window of opportunity before this evolved into what it is where maybe Kwame could have worked with you? And Gil just basically said it was never an opportunity because Kwame don't know how to put in the work. And so I'm going to tell you guys this. And a lot of you guys might not know this. When it comes to this content thing, right? Gil already has a lot of people working for him. Like Gil easily could coast, do the bare minimum, and things will look perfect. The man is up at 4 a.m. working on content. How do I know this? This man will call me at 4 a.m. talking about content. And it's just like, I'm talking about, I'm answering, my eyes, I still got, sleep in my eyes. But, I'm going to pop up, I'm going to get the conversation and I'm going to cook on whatever we working on. But the man every single day, and when I'm talking about faithfully, 4 a.m, probably 4:30, 4:30 up. Workout, working on content. He working on the content like he one of us trying to get out the mud with the content still. And I'm like, damn, Gil, you made it right, Gil. But the man work on the content. So when the whole perspective is, I don't think and I think a lot of people also see this issue with Kwame is that, and I think this is why a lot of big brands haven't done anything with Kwame Brown yet, is because they don't think he can put in the work necessary to carry a true platform, right?
Mm-hmm.
They just don't, and it's true, and it shows because I mean you've had this, you went viral. You had this big glow up, 400K subs. I can't imagine what them YouTube checks was looking like at the peak of that virality. You didn't go out and buy a 4K camera. You didn't make any type of studio setup. You didn't hire editors or anybody to work for you to clean stuff up, right? You didn't do nothing, right? You just like Kwame, just like Gilbert Arenas said, you pick up your phone, you put on a black screen, you do the bare minimum with all that virality. And that's the nastiest part about it right there, man.
Which is indicative of his career.
Exactly. Yes. That's you see, Lamont, you just pointed it out right there. The difference between Gilbert Arenas and Kwame Brown is that Gilbert is already 30 steps ahead of Kwame. Gilbert, what he thinks about is, what can we try to do to make the channel better? What are some areas of production that we can improve upon to make sure that the channel is basically the best channel that we can put out there, so that way sponsors and advertisers can basically trust us to basically sponsor their brand. See, the problem with Kwame Brown is that he never understood the meaning of work ethic. And that's where it comes down to. You look back in his NBA career, even though he was drafted #1 overall in 2001, he literally was a guy that never really put the work in to be a better player. Yeah, he may have small hands and may have some disadvantages, but people who have those kind of disadvantages work on to make it their strengths. And unfortunately, Kwame Brown never really put the work in. To be honest with you, he's had more opportunities than, let's say, Gilbert Arenas, because remember, Gilbert Arenas was a second-round pick. There was no guarantee for him to get into the NBA. Remember, he talked about that in his own show too.
I think and this is here's the saddest, and Twin, tell me if you agree with this. And so I'm saying with you, Mahari, and even in people in the chat, the saddest part is that I don't expect everybody at every stage in their life to do everything perfectly, right? So let's say Kwame Brown in his NBA career didn't go perfect the way it typically goes for a #1 draft pick. That happens. There's a lot of mismanagement with the Wizards organization. I think that there's a lot of people that screwed up and put him in a bad situation. So I'm not even gonna put all of that on Kwame. But
sure.
But here's the thing. Kwame, it's not a lot of people that get a second chance to get a redo.
Exactly.
And when you get a redo, you now have to think, I'm not about to be a bust again. Like, the first thing if I go viral, the last thing I'm going to do? I'm not going to name my channel Bust Life.
Right.
I don't want this thing to be a repeat of what happened in the NBA. It's going to be the complete opposite. And salute to Celebrity Suge, the man of the hour. We're just cooking on you. We're just talking about you, Uncle Suge, man. Salute to Uncle Suge, y'all, man. I told y'all, a lot of y'all don't know this. I wouldn't even know Gil if it wasn't for Uncle Suge. He's the one that made the initial connection. And he's kind of helped me network with people. Like I say, he's put me in some circles and network with people that I never thought I'd be able to network with. So salute to Uncle Suge for putting it together. And remember, when he partnered me with Gil, it wasn't on no trolling, let's get Kwame Brown stuff. It was on some, like, we trying to build something. Like, so it's not like I got with Suge and Gil because we all after Kwame Brown. This is not no Kwame Brown type thing where everybody in this circle is going after Gil. I got put with Gil because I had a specific talent to help him with some things. Suge had a specific talent to help him with some things, and we was working on content. Right, we was trying to put together content. We trying to figure out, like, Gilbert Arenas' ultimate goal was, and he kept telling me, I want to be the Mr. Beast of this sports thing. How can we get there? And I told you, when he first told me that, where Gil was, I'm like, God damn, this dude has some hellified aspirations. But shit.
Yep.
But that motherfucker, he damn near.
But think about
he close.
But think about this, fellas. Like, that's why when Lamont, you did that show when it started from the coding and trading, whatever the coding and stuff, which made him look, you made him look ridiculous. And then when you brought him on your show, You know what I'm saying? See, once you took them out, once you take these people out of their echo chamber and you let them speak, they make themselves sound, and they start exposing themselves.
Yep.
And like that was like one of the best shows I've seen because all he did, like he keep blaming guys like Stephen A. Smith or Stephen A. Smith going to them colleges. Did that have anything to do with your work ethic? Let me see. We looking at LeBron James right now. He's labeled a GOAT. This man still gets scrutiny from the time he got into the league to the time now. Both.
Looks like
My bad. My bad, bro. I'm sorry about that. My bad.
No worries. Keep cooking, brother.
Like you think LeBron James right now is still going through the same scrutiny he did when he first came into the league. Now think about it. Both of them kind of came in at the same time of the social media era. And here it is, LeBron James he's already lapped him 20, he's lapped him about 20 times in his career. And he still to this day gets scrutiny. But guess what LeBron James has that Kwame doesn't have? And you see where their careers have gone.
Yep.
You don't got that dog in them. You don't got that work ethic, and it shows. And that's why in Lamont, when you had that other guy who's supposed to be his cousin on the show the other day, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like, you know, he couldn't even be upset. He was just being contrary for the sake of being contrary. No matter how much game Gil and you was dropping on the show, he was just being contrary. Because this is what happens when you allow you associate yourself with bottom feeders. They don't really care too much about if Kwame succeed or fail. They just looking for the next what's the name? But for clout. That's all they're looking for. When they're attaching themselves and telling, and I think they're just a bunch of yes men. Instead of trying to help him get his stuff together, they just agree with everything he say.
Yep,
and
pretty much.
It's sort of like in the reverse. Why is he taking advice from these guys? These guys are nobody. He should be the one that's driving the shit because at the end of the day, regardless how people felt, we all at the end of the day, he played in the league for 10 plus years. You made millions of dollars. You saw things that we didn't see. You played with the greats. Like I said, you played with two of the greatest players that this game has ever seen. You sat at their feet. Those are the stories that we want to hear. We don't want to hear nothing about a bunch of celebrity gossip because that's what you relegated yourself to. Man, you know what I'm saying? That's crazy.
Hey, can I say this though too about Gilbert Arenas too? I think when you look back at his time as not just as a player too, but also as a content creator. Now, I've had my disagreements on Gilbert Arenas on certain things, which I can respectfully say. But the one thing's for certain though, Gilbert Arenas will tell you a lot of the things that he went through to try to build up his own platform to be where it is today. And the one thing that I will say about him is that everything that Gilbert Arenas accomplished wasn't easy. I mean, you remember, it goes back to college. Remember, he basically was a second-round pick, and literally he could have been cut at any particular time, but he put the work in every single day to be the best player that he can be, and it showed with his result. Now, did he make his share of mistakes? Absolutely. And did he have his errors of judgment? Of course. Every person that has those kind of moments. But the difference between Kwame Brown and Gilbert is accountability. Gilbert has always remained accountable to the things that he does, while Kwame is the complete opposite. Accountability does not exist with Kwame Brown. It doesn't. And it shows with the content. Because if Kwame Brown would have wanted to be where Gilbert Arenas is now, he would have to look himself in the mirror and have a deep self-reflection about himself as a person and what does he have to do to make his content better. And he's never had that. He's never had that in his life. And it shows every single time. That's why Gilbert is always going to be above Kwame Brown every single time. And that's why Kwame is resentful of that.
And yeah, just so we can, just for the new people watching, if y'all haven't seen, this show is about Kwame Brown and Karceno for life, man. They over the last 4 to 5 years, they have put out over 800 combined videos, live shorts about Gilbert Arenas, all lies, right? Intentional misinterpretations, just all bold-faced lies, and even worse in Karceno's case, because in many of these instances, Karceno for Life knows the truth and will intentionally lie and feed false misinformation to Kwame Brown just for the sake of driving beef, creating drama, for whatever reason. And it's not even really amounting to much. I mean, I could see if he's doing it and he's getting millions and millions of views, he's not even getting nothing out of it, right? He's not benefiting. He's not profiting. He's not hired to do this. He's just doing all this for free. And so, again, the challenge has been put out there. Gilbert Arenas says $5,000 on the table for Karceno for Life and Kwame Brown to come to the table here on FYF Sports and bring their facts and receipts versus my facts and receipts. I will debunk every lie that they have. I have the facts to support. And I'm not talking about the emotional stuff. I'm not talking about the jokes and how Gil might have joked and said something. I'm talking about things that can be factually and verifiably proven false. The things that they are lying about intentionally, like Gil's court case, like Gil's money, like his situation with Playback, the situation with Underdog, the situation with Playmaker. All of these things I can prove are verifiably false, and they're just pushing misinformation. But I'm curious to see if they will pull up. I'm curious to see. But Gilbert Arenas has $5,000 on it. And like I say, hey, Suge, I could use that right about now, Suge. I could use that $5K. I gotta try this find. I gotta find a way to get them guys over here, man. Because that's gonna be that's gonna be an easy $5K if I get them over here.
They won't pull up, bro. I promise you, bro. They will not pull up. I guarantee you, because they're too afraid of going outside of their comfort zone to confront actual realistic truth right in front of their face. They won't pull up. You might as well just save that money at this point.
Hey, well, like no, it's like Gil put up the money. Like I said, and look, think about it like this.
Go ahead.
I gotta try. I gotta get that. That's an easy five. I gotta get the $5K, right? And all I have to do is tell this. That's the funniest part about it. All I gotta do is show the facts. I don't have to argue with nobody. I don't have to debate with nobody. All I have to do is show the facts. Everything that I'm showing you guys is documented. It's all verified. Everything that I'm talking about. I know that Kwame Brown wants to talk about being a man and you taking my girl in the locker room, and he want to talk about silly bar incidents with Charles Oakley. We're not talking about all that. We're not talking about them little. Look, we talking about direct facts. We're not talking about these silly stories that Kwame thinks he remembers and all this silly stuff. You took money off my contract. No, we're not doing all that. Nobody cares. No matter what you got paid, the only fact we need to know, Kwame Brown, is that whatever you got paid, you got with Merrill Lynch, and Merrill Lynch robbed you of all your money. That's the only fact we need to know. You got with the wrong company. They robbed you of all your money. You made a whole bunch of bad investments. That's all we need to know. That's the only people that I know for certain took money out your pocket was Merrill Lynch. Do some videos on Merrill Lynch. Do some videos on Sally Jenkins. Don't come to me crying about nothing else. Stick to the facts. He says Merrill Lynch and that Latina got his ass. Oh, man. I mean, I haven't even dove into the Merrill Lynch situation all the way.
You should, though. You should.
I heard that Kwame tried to sue them to get some of his money back, but I don't know what ultimately happened. So I don't even know the truth. I just know that Merrill Lynch pulled one over on him and they got away with a lot of his bread. That's all I do know. And so, again, but again, that just kind of tells you how gullible he might be as far as, just kind of believing anybody. Just like look how much he believes from Karceno. Karceno doesn't Karceno is not looked at as somebody that's a reputable guy on social media. He's looked at as a troll. He's looked at a guy that with a lot of misinformation and fake information. And he's attached him. He has his hooks in Kwame Brown. And Kwame Brown looks at Karceno as if he's credible. And I don't think Kwame Brown understands how much of a bad look that is for him.
You know what's sad? You know what's crazy about it too? Like if you ever never heard of Karceno talk in real life, bro. All you got to do is watch one of Lowe's like live streams when he allowed some people to come in, and this dude couldn't stop lying for the whole 15 to 20 minutes that he was on Lowe's live stream. I'm like, get this dude off the panel, man. Like, this dude never stops lying. Like, I don't like this guy has a schizophrenic mindset of, oh, I'm just gonna keep lying because people are gonna believe all the lies that I say anyway.
He said he lost. He signed the POA. Yeah. Oh, damn. So he lost that case. That's crazy. I didn't even know that. That is crazy right there.
Well,
He says he lost when he sued them. Yeah, I gotta look into it. Yeah, I just didn't know what was going on with that.
well, maybe that's something you can put in your part 3 episode too. You can add that to that.
I mean, I kind of want to really just stick to the facts that we have
Nah,
in this
I get it,
particular
I get it.
situation. Will Lakers, I did see your gift earlier, man. So I did see your gift. Here it is on the screen. My bad, I missed it earlier, but I did see your gift. I'm putting it on the screen now. So salute to Will Lakers for sending that gift.
Well, I'll say this. I'll just say this, and then I don't know if there's going to be more people that'll pull up, but I'll say this. I don't think they're going to pull up. I think Gilbert can save that 5K for himself and put it into something else. They're not going to pull up because if they believed in what they're saying, if everything they're saying is factual from their perspective, they would have easily pulled it up and showed all the information. Most of us with a working brain know it's a lie.
That's a fact. That's a fact right there. But man, well, it doesn't look like we're gonna get either one of them to pull up today. So there's no sighting. I didn't even get a sighting of them in the chat.
Nah, I told you, bro. They're not gonna pull up. Honestly, man, you're better off continuing to do you and your TikTok stuff, or even just doing like your own like NBA preseason type of stuff, though, whatever, bro. Because it's just better off that way at this point. Because they're not gonna show up, and even if they do, they're just gonna give you half-ass truth. That's all they're gonna. That's all.
The main thing is what I'm so amazed with them is their thirst to chase these topics with very little information. Like,
exactly.
I mean, like, for example, when Kwame went live, when that information came out that the guy named Gershom, the Israeli guy in this gambling case, when the judge rejected his plea, I mean, that story had been out for maybe 3-4 hours. Already Karceno was live acting as if he had all the insider information on the whole case, and Gil's going down and Gil's in trouble. And it's just like, bro, you don't even take 2 seconds. You don't go to Pacer. You don't try to do anything to get any additional information to at least make sure that what you're saying is factual.
Or even go to the criminal complaint, or even a court case.
He didn't do none of that. He just went to an article, intentionally withheld information from that article just to push a narrative to the people listening that Gil's in trouble. And it's just like, bro, why go through all this? And
right.
You even got people in your own chat telling you, bro, this has nothing to do with Gil. And you still, and anytime anybody says that, oh, you must work for Gil. Oh, you must. No, bro. You don't have to lie about this. You don't even, like, whether you cool with Gil or not, this is not something that you need to lie about. And that's always, look, somebody said I sent them articles in the chat. Yeah, facts. He says they don't care because it's not about the truth. That's a fact. Mr. Jupiter, they might not, but like I told Gil, I'm going to keep my foot on the neck until you put you in a situation where you have to pull up, because I don't need to make a title with homoerotic terms like Karceno did. Right? I don't have to lead with jokes. I just got to lead with the facts. The facts are on my side. I don't need to make jokes about Kwame, who he's dating, and all this silly stuff. I don't need to do all of that. I'll leave all the jokes up to Gil, Suge, all the other people. Gil got 1,000,001 people cracking jokes on him, and Gil got some very suspect characters in his corner. Like, Karceno's very shoddy. The other guy, Kev Lowe, I don't know. I didn't never know what his intent was. And when he was up here talking with Gil, I didn't even know what they were talking about, because it wasn't what we were talking about. So I just think he was just wanting to rehash an old conversation. But yeah, it's nasty work. Hey, Will Laker said he'll act like Kwame for the 5K. Man, look, man, we're gonna have to get a fake Kwame up here or something, man. Come on, man. Somebody, Kwame, man, just do it for the culture, man. Just come
He
up here and get
won't,
cooked, man. Just come up here and
bro.
get
He,
cooked.
he he won't do it, bro.
Come on, man.
He's too stubborn to do it. He's gonna stay in his echo chamber where he is, and he's gonna continue to do what he does best. It's not even worth it, bro.
Just come get cooked. Come on, man. Help me out, man. Let's get this 5K, man. It's only gonna take about 30 minutes to an hour. It's not even gonna be that long. You know. I'll take about $10, $20 of it and super chat you, man. Make you feel better. We got he says, Mahari, that was your comment. You said Karceno got destroyed. He never yeah, I don't know. Yeah, but I don't even
I
know
know.
if he was doing legitimate boxing content.
Nah, he
Kevlo-
was doing some boxing content back in the day, but a lot of his stories were ended up being lies in the process, and he got ripped to the coals for it. I know.
Gotcha. Hold on. We got Duke Bigelow. He says Kevlo from the KB beef sector. He just wanted content to run over there with and talk ish. But my thing, Duke Bigelow, is did he get any content that made him look good out of it? I don't think I don't know. When you came up here and said that Kwame Brown is a journalist, like, how is that good content? Or when you come up here and say stuff like Kwame Brown made all of us. Like, I was doing content well before Kwame Brown went viral. Gil was winning awards well before Kwame went viral.
And he was working with Shannon Sharp and Shay Shay Media too.
And my biggest thing is, like I tell people, when Kwame first came at me some years ago, I don't even know why he came at me. He just came into the chat, even though he tried to lie and say he didn't do it. We all saw it. He came into our chat saying, "Why ain't you guys talking about trading and codes, bro?" I don't know, bro. We talking basketball, but then they get mad when we go down that road of really talking trading and codes. Who on the panel? That's Mahari Nation Sports Podcast, man. Salute to Mahari Nation Sports Podcast. But hey, Mahari, I think we cooked enough on this one today, man.
Yeah, you
We're going
did.
2 hours. I just wanted to get part 2 out. And again, like I say, part 2 was just a setup for part 3. Part three is gonna be much more dangerous. And so again, we'll allow this one to breathe for a little bit. We'll give it 48 hours. Maybe Karceno and Kwame will reach out to set up a date. They'll set up a date to maybe have this debate. The Muffin Man dropped the court. Oh, you got the link to the court case in there. So salute, man. Andrew Williams said he don't even talk about he don't. But
I'll say,
Andrew, hold on one second, Mark. But Andrew, my biggest thing was, look, when Kwame first came out and he went at Stephen A. Smith initially, I think we all were sympathetic to it and was like, yeah, he let him get his get back. I mean, look, he got his get back. Like, I can't be mad at him for using social media to get his get back. So you got him back. So I think then it just became, okay, what's next? What are we doing next? And so when we said what's next, I think he just started to drag the Stephen A. thing. And I think the only thing he knew to do with the Stephen A. thing was to, again, try to pretend to be the person that these newfound fans wanted him to be. They wanted him to be some type of hero or social justice warrior because they turned it into him being a super victim. Like I told you, he was just sympathy farming. So
bro.
Now he's just now he's just sympathy farming for more sympathy, right? So now he's this newfound social justice warrior, sympathy farming, and instead of just talking basketball, hey, you guys, I'm gonna save the kids, and I'm gonna help the kids, and the reading level is too low. We're gonna save the kids, but now you don't save no kids, and so he put himself in a silly situation now because, and I think the beef was a distraction. So when he couldn't fulfill the trading in codes, when he didn't know what to do as far as being a fake social justice warrior, The only thing he knew to distract everybody in his community was, well, fuck, let me just fake beef. Let me just create beefs. Everybody that I interact with is ultimately going to turn into a beef. So then it was Tommy Sotomayor. Then you have Mr. Skinny, and then all the people just go down the line. Everybody that he initially was rocking with became an enemy, and now he's beefing with them. So, and that's what this is just me from the outside looking in. And so, even me, I'm just a bystander for the most part. I have nothing to do with anything.
You know what's funny about? Hold
on one second, Mahar. So
Yeah.
I'm just talking to them so they know the story. Remember, I'm just a bystander for the most part back in 2021, 22. I don't have any dog in the fight. I'm not a super fan. I don't care that you went viral, but when I see Kwame Brown pop in the chat, I'm thinking he's gonna talk basketball. But he don't talk basketball. He say trading in codes. Stop talking basketball. Stop trading in codes. We got Q Burton in the chat says, you using AI, bro, not facts. What am I using AI about? Here, I'll drop the link for you, Q Burton. So, does if I use AI to create a graphic to display the facts, that's not using AI. The facts are still going to be the facts no matter how they're displayed, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so my example to you would be, like, for example, if I put this on the screen right here, Q Burton, if I put this on the screen, when Kwame Brown and Karceno said that Gils Arena had fake views, or if I put something like this on the screen where Kwame Brown and Karceno told Gil he owned 100% of nothing, it doesn't matter if AI was used to create it. The fact is that Kwame Brown and Karceno for Life said these things. That's a fact. And what is also a fact is that it is a verifiable lie, right? We go to more facts. When they said that he had 0.3% view to subscriber conversion, it was fake traffic. Well, according to Underdog themselves, that's a lie, right? We can go to more of these, right? When they said he was click farming, buying his views from Bangladesh, well, that was proven to be a lie according to Underdog themselves, right? We go to more claims, right? The people financing the show are stupid pigeons and mules, or stupid people repeatedly losing money. Well, as we can see, they weren't losing money because they read up everybody on the show on new contracts, lucrative deals, right? We can go to all of these. Every time we go to Effect, he says nobody would be interested in Gil without Kwame Brown. That's a lie. Most of the people that watch Gils Arena don't know who Kwame Brown is. And if they do know you, they just know you for being a bust in NBA, not because you were beefing with Gilbert Arenas. These are the facts. Just because I created these graphics with AI does not mean that the facts are not the facts. So when Kwame Brown and Karceno for Life said the show is about to collapse, sponsors were abandoning it, or Underdog regretted signing Arenas, we know that's a lie. Underdog re-upped Gilbert Arenas on a new contract. They re-upped everybody on new contracts at this particular time in 2024. These are all lies. If the show's about to collapse, how did everybody get re-up on bigger and better deals? So again, you guys just hate the fact that I have all my ducks in order. You guys hate the fact that all my ducks are in order and I'm using AI to organize it. That's all y'all mad about. Y'all just mad.
What's the name of the channel, Lamont? What's the name of the channel?
What channel?
This channel.
Oh yeah, F5 Sports, man. You already know.
Exactly. So the point is forget your feelings in my PG-13 words, because we're on YouTube. The point is nobody cares if the feelings hurts you or not. The facts are the facts. Like I said, I'm not the biggest fan of Gilbert Arenas, but one thing's for certain: when the truth is the truth, it doesn't matter what I feel. The facts are the facts.
We got Clip That Crow. He says, AI is a tool that has been used in media arts for decades. When ESPN do it, it's journalism. When we do it, it's frowned upon. That's a fact. Clip That Crow. I've been using AI. I'm giving fake credit to myself, but I think I give myself a little bit credit because I feel like I motivated Gil to start using ChatGPT live on Gils Arena to cook some of these guys, to fact check them in real time, right? Because I was using it on my shows. Maybe that's false credit. I don't know. But no, for Dino in the chat, he says, Kev came on your panel to interrupt your live with Gil just to run back to Kwame to let you know. No, so Dino, he didn't interrupt because for the most part, we had cooked. The point had been delivered. Gil came up. Gil was giving us gems about the entire situation, a lot of gems that we didn't know, or at least a lot of people weren't privy to, just to kind of help bring context to the whole situation with his signing with Playmaker. And so when this guy came up, somebody in the chat was like, "Yeah, that's Kwame's cousin." Or I let him up. I'm trying to hear what he has to say. I think it's unfortunate that the only thing he chose to do at that particular time is to try to rehash and cry about old beefs with Gil. That's unfortunate, but does that surprise me? That's what people in the beef sector do. They just masters at wasting time. And I'm glad he did it now, because now if he ever comes back, we know what his true intent is. He ducked and dodged very simple and straightforward questions, right? Simple, straightforward questions, right? He said he called Kwame Brown a journalist. So I just displayed to him, well, if he's a journalist, why did he lie about everything that he said about Gil? I said, can you answer this? I said, are these lies? Well, I can't say for sure. Well, how can you not say for sure? This is not a subjective question. These lies, these are not subjective. Like when I put these on the screen, right? When we have comments like this, when Kwame Brown says that Gilbert Arenas merely copied every improvement suggested by Karceno and Kwame, this is a lie. Do y'all really think Gil is sitting in his home taking notes on what Kwame and Karceno say about running a show? Karceno just started trying to implement things to improve the quality of his show, but for the most part, he's just going live from his phone, sitting in the living room with no production value whatsoever. And Kwame Brown just goes live from a black screen on his phone half the time, falling asleep. Do y'all really think these two guys can give anything of relevance to Gilbert Arenas? Gilbert Arenas has people from ESPN working for him.
And former players too.
I gotta stop.
One other thing though, too, though, like, you know, with Gilbert Arenas, he's also brought in women to his platforms too, because he wants to bring diversity to his channel too. He also allows, you know, former WNBA players and even current ones to come on his show too and give their thoughts too.
That's from the talent side. I'm talking about from like the production side. Like they're trying to make it seem like they're the reason why the show was getting better. Remember, it started getting to a point where their lies are now starting to fall apart in their face. First, they said the show wasn't going to be good. First, they said the show was all botted, right? All the lies get proven. So now when the show is doing well and they can't finesse it, they can't lie about it, they can't say it's fake. Now they say, well, it's only getting good because Gil took our advice. What advice? I would love to see these messages.
I would love,
and Karceno, I would love for you to share screenshots of these messages with me of you telling Gil how to improve Gil's Arena. And man, these improvements are directly tied to your recommendations. And we all know if that was true, he would have already shown the screenshots. If it was true, he would have already dropped screenshots. Or he would have made some fake screenshots or something. I don't know. Just like he did with the fake audio recording of him in the WAC 100 conversation.
Can I ask you a question though? If I were to ask somebody to give me some advice on production, who would I ask? Would I ask Karceno or do I ask Mr. Gilbert Arenas, who is already established and already got the credibility to do so?
We know nobody's asking Karceno about. Nobody's asking him about creating.
I know. I'm being rhetorical. I call him Karceno for a reason. I don't call him.
But Mahari, I'm gonna go ahead. I'm about to wrap this show up. So I'm gonna
yes,
go ahead and drop you down.
Yes, sir.
I appreciate you pulling up. Hopefully, we can get you on more of these shows. And
y'all, yes, sir, man.
Follow.
Make sure hey, listen, listen, man. You got my phone number, bro. You can reach out to me anytime.
I got you, man. I got you.
All right, peace out.
Yes, sir. Make sure y'all follow Mahari Nation Sports Podcast, man. Coming up to cook, man. As we start to wrap this show up, man. We 2 hours of just dropping more facts And then also we got to finish by saying, will Kwame Brown and Karceno pull up to FYF Sports for the $5,000 debate challenge? 5, fact versus fact, fact versus fact. Why have they been lying? 4 years of lies on Gil. I don't care about the jokes. I don't care about the locker room drama that y'all pretend that Kwame Brown, pretends they had. I'm talking about the facts. We got JAS says, he says, FYF, Karceno and Kwame would never accept the challenge to come debate your facts to their lies because they have no proof at all. They will. Well, again, but look, it's $5,000 right there for the taking. I got to try to motivate these guys to come out of the trenches, come out of the shadows, because we got bills to pay. We got things to do over here. We got to try to again, we trying to lure these dudes out, right? Of they hiding spots. Come to FYF Sports. Remember, I don't need any sidekicks up here on the panel to help me out, right? All they have to do is send me all the information that they have. I'm going to load it in, and as they talk, we're going to be sharing everybody the screenshots, all the proof that they so-called have. That's all we're going to do, right? If they so-called got proof and they got facts to support, right? If Gil owns 100% of nothing, I want you to insert that portion of his contract. I want you to highlight it, and I want you to send it to me, right? And you know, we going to make sure you didn't doctor it or anything, but we going to put it up. Right? If you say Gil ruined the show, and if you set the numbers, remember, they set the numbers till Gil's Arena started getting better when Gil wasn't on the show. Well, we're going to pull the numbers. Right? This has all been documented. We're going to pull the numbers. We're going to see, did the numbers decline when Gil stepped away, or did the numbers go up when Gil stepped away? They only did one thing or the other. Again, everything that we need to fact check is very easy to fact check. We got Eastwood says, you love Gil. No, I just love cooking people on facts. That's it. We just love cooking people on facts. It's called FYF Sports, research purposes only. Right? You haven't been around. You just don't know. He says, how much did Gil pay Vlad to hit the panel? I don't know. I don't remember Vlad hitting Gil's panel. If he did, salute to Gil. Gil know a lot of people. I think Gil knows Vlad, to be honest. So, it's not that far-fetched. They do know each other. I'm sure he could pick up the phone and call him. So, come on, y'all. But look, y'all, man. We've been cooking for 2 hours, man. Salute to everybody that's pulled up. Make sure y'all spread this message around. Like I say, Kwame Brown, Karceno for life, man. It's just going to get to a point where you guys got to stop running, right? And remember, I'm not here to try to overtalk you. I'm not even here to try to debate you, because this is not a debate, right? I have a number of lies, felonious statements from your videos that I want you guys to tell me, how are these statements true? How were you able to go on a live stream and say that these statements were factual, and now all of these statements are provably false? Where was your proof? Show me your proof. 5K. It's going to get to a point where y'all got to stop ducking this, man. Y'all going to have to step up to the forefront to take this one right here. One more time before we get up out of here, y'all. We got our trajectory. We got our trajectory of our timeline of facts. Remember, this is a surgical breakdown of a timeline of facts. What you see on the screen right here is just a small demonstration of that timeline. Direct statements from what they have said over the years. From August 2023 all the way to July 2026. Right? As I told y'all before, this is over 800 videos. 800 videos of just hate and lies. Right? Hate and lies, man. What's going on, man? And now it's just coming to a time where now you have to answer to that. Somebody's calling it to roost now. You got to answer for this. We've aligned all your statements. You guys have videos, over 800 videos documented of saying a lot of these lies. And when we fact checked a lot of these things that you say, It ain't adding up. So, yeah, we're going to shut this one down, man. We're going to close this show out. How many videos on Gil? Y'all see the title of this video. There's a 5K challenge. There's a $5,000 challenge presented by Gilbert Arenas to pull up to FYF Sports and have the conversation. We're not going to argue. We're not going to debate. We're going to go fact versus fact. Your facts versus mine. We're not doing no feelings. I don't want to hear anything about what you think, what you thought, what you think might happen, what should have happened, what happened versus what you said happened. That's all we need to talk about here on FYF Sports, y'all. Look, we're going to shut this one down. I appreciate everybody pulling up today. Salute to everybody that came through with the super chat. Salute to Celebrity Shug with the super chat. If you hit the Zelle to support, salute. My apologies if I missed your message. If you guys want to support on your way out the door, I pinned at the top of this comment section. You see the Zelle is pinned at the top of the comment section. Make sure you shoot the Zelle to support. And if you have any direct questions that you want me to address in the live stream, send it in the Zelle message, and I will address that as the first order of business on our next live stream. But we'll end this show with this. Kwame Brown Karceno. 48 hours. Let's get it set up. We don't have to argue. We don't have to bicker. This is, y'all talk about accountability. Y'all had a lot of videos talking about accountability. When are you guys going to take accountability for your lies? We can do it live. I'm not here to argue or debate with you guys. We just can go fact for fact. A $5,000 challenge. Like Gil is willing to put his money on the line, right? Gil is willing to put his money on the line just to lure you guys out of hiding. We can go fact versus fact to cook on these topics, y'all. But I think we ultimately all know the end result of this, y'all. I don't think these guys are going to show up. I don't think they're interested in dealing in facts. I think more so than anything, they just hate the fact that somebody's calling them out as liars. And what makes it worse, y'all, is I'm not doing it with jokes. I don't have to talk about your mama. I don't have to talk about your girlfriend. I don't have to talk about men that they seen in images laying next to Karceno in beds. I don't have to talk about none of that silly stuff. All I have to talk about is the facts, man. It's FYF Sports, man. Kwame Brown, Karceno for life, man. 48 hours. We need an answer from you or I got to drop part 3. And I told y'all, part 2 was much more lenient, but I needed to do part 2 to build into part 3. Now, in part 3, you guys, I'm going to showcase to you guys some lies that are so egregious, that step across the bounds so crazy. And what makes these lies worse than any of the other lies is that I have documented proof that Karceno and both Kwame Brown knew that these were documented lies. And they lied on Gilbert Arenas intentionally just to try to get a few extra clicks and views. So that video is coming next. The lies are far more egregious. The factual trail that indicts them is far more egregious. And before we even get to episode 3, you two, Kwame Brown and Karceno for life, you guys have an opportunity to pull up to FYF Sports to set the record straight and stop hiding behind your platforms. Again, Karceno, you don't have to do fake videos with homoerotic innuendos, right? Whatever you got going on with that, you keep that going on amongst yourself. You know, again, just stick to the facts, right? Don't get all hyper caught up in your feelings. Just come with your facts. And if you have facts on your side, you shouldn't, there's no need to run. But hopefully in 48 hours, you guys will hear from him. If not, part 3 is coming, man. It's FYF Sports. We out.
Look, numbers don't lie, but the broke do. 4 years of podcasting, your obsession, let's expose you. You tethered your identity to another man's jersey. A dirty sector of YouTube begging for mercy. I stepped away from petty talk, out through the sandbox, while you still stand outside trying to pick the locks. Let's look at the legend. The first pick overall, but the baseline was just killing. Now you running into the graveyard, burying your feelings, sitting in front of a lens, projecting your failure. I altered the landscape, customized the fit like a tailor. August 23, you try to audit the man. 16 million views, you can calculate the path. Claiming click funds in Bangladesh, destined for a story. What the 4.8 watch time, average stole your glory. That's internal distribution, organic consumer behavior. But a dying channel always looks for a saving. You predicted the collapse, said the platform was rejected. Then Underdog extended the roster, completely inspected. 500 million views, registered by 2025. The blueprint is immortal, where architecture live. You still trading your dignity for bottom tier engagement. While I'm looking at structural growth from the pavement. You move the goalposts whenever the thesis dies. A low budget operation fueled by certified lies. Every single projection you made suffer the drought. We check the public record and completely route the clout. When the narrative burns out, you just pivot the plane, but you can't detach a platform from my name. July 24, you saw a fracture and ran with it. The South Sudan media storm, you tried to stab my brand with it. Telling your audience I never put the statement on the page, but Complex and TMZ documented the stage. The public accountability was instantaneous clear. You just needed a distortion to preserve the atmosphere. Fast forward then late May 2026, you scream about the IP. They get the cancellation sticks. They got your name, Gil. You don't know your own rights. But they play Baker ink was drying under the building lights. Awful announcer clear the air. The trademark reverse. Underdog kept the network channel. I kept the shirts. That's a strategic corporate split. Asset separation. But to work her economy looks like devastation. Playback closes doors. You say I caused the collapse. Disney acquires the cake. You completely missed the maths. Underdog shifts the game and model laying off the pool. But your casual analysis attributes it's a who. An absolute obsession, a psychological dependency. You need my trajectory to validate your frequency. Stuck in a loop, trying to intercept the blessings. You can't let it go. The attachment is vital, but girl, without my name, you don't even have a title. The evidence is liquid, the truth is transparent. They make a deal signed, the enterprise is secure. 4 years of fabrications, completely cured, shift the parent.